Uh, any hoot. Pardon me, I'm putting an X on the map here. So anywho, last session was a little all over the place. The party actually did quite a lot of travel and investigation and picked up a bunch of information. Some new faces popped up. And so we are, as I was saying in the preamble, we are at a sort of a nexus point as the party is pushing information that they found out session before last over there in the quiet basement. They found evidence that was going on about the Draugr and Olgi's involvement and all of that, like sort of like jazz and whatnot. And Tim, being the robot lawyer that he is, he took down evidence. He and Callie both like took samples and all this sort of stuff so that it could be presented with a like along with a case to somebody in authority of like, hey, something's going on here and it involves the halls of rest, which is otherwise a sort of like socially revered institution, as well as a religious institution, as well as also part of like safety and health for the entire community. So that's kind of a big fucking deal to be like, hey, yo, there's corruption right in the middle of this thing. So you guys did your due diligence. You went in there, you got the evidence. While that was being gathered, Callie also did some investigation of the Draugr, the advanced Draugr, and you guys found out that they had some post-death modifications that had been done to them. Particularly, they had openings made on the inside part of their forearms that were essentially chambers which were filled with a industrial degreaser, which is extremely poisonous to living creatures. The undead don't have to care, but living creatures would definitely have to care. But it was an industrial product. And the chambers then had channels that would run up along the arms and come out to the fingers, and that's how these guys were delivering poison when they made their slappy attacks. But that was a modification that was done to them after they had died. Whether that modification was also done after they had become undead, don't know that part, but it was definitely done post death. The other thing that was noted is that the process by which these guys were created is a modified, quote unquote, perverted version of the traditional thing that makes the traditional Draugr around here. And it does trap the spirit of the person who died inside of the body to provide the animus, as well as like give it a form of intellect and whatnot, but it does not allow them to like maintain their memories or to have any sort of like control in their undeath. They are in fact shackled to the will of whoever raised them up. Fortunately, you guys had enough combined knowledge to figure out a way to break that. So you released those Draugr, the advanced Draugr, quote unquote. You guys released them out of that shackle so that their spirits could actually pass on. And those bodies were just became dead bodies, just regular dead bodies. But you guys gathered this information. You went back to the Gooseberry Fool to rest and relax. On the way out, you noticed that you guys were being watched. There was the faint smell of cooked chicken, and you guys found tracks on the roof of the building to indicate that something invisible, had spotted you guys, and then the moment you guys moved towards it fucking took off like a goddamn alien counter, and was gone. So that was a bit of a mystery, at least at the beginning of the previous session. You guys then went back to the Gooseberry Fool, rested, and during the night, that's when Tim spotted a wagon, well, not a wagon, but actually a sled, pulled by a couple of horses that was coming down the road and headed towards the old market area. Tim let everybody know about that, and then in the morning, everybody went over to the Old Gate area of town to just sort of look around. You guys had Torque use her specialty of just like talking to people in order to like gather general information about Aj and what's going on, which she determined that Aj, definitely female, and people have definitely like talked to her and interacted with her in person, but only in the context of working for her, as she is apparently the person who runs the processing plant, which is more than a single building. It's actually several buildings. It basically takes up like 3 blocks of space in Oldgate. And according to all of the people that she talked to, they essentially take raw materials from the mines. They do initial processing, and then that stuff is taken to market, at which point it is then sold to individual crafters, or it is sold to organizations like the Imperial Army, so on and so forth, for further processing that happens after that. They had a administration building, however, that you guys noticed, and that's where Tim spotted the sled from the early morning, although he didn't spot the people or the horses. Those potentially were just in a stable somewhere nearby, but didn't see any of them. But there were some other people who were showing up who were making some deliveries. So the party sent in Dr. Trimmer's in his disguise as I'm a rat. That is his alibi. If anybody stops him, he just tells them he is a rat.
And perfect English, too.
Yeah, in perfect, understandable common, he says, I am a rat. And if they're going to argue with that, they'll have to take him to court. But either way, he went in, he poked in a couple of the boxes that the people were delivering. Nobody seemed to notice him because, again, he's, like the size of a small cat. And he came back and reported that the boxes contained normal tools, common stuff that, like, Callie has like 7 of back at the workshop. But they also contained slimy, greasy bags that were filled with something soft and squishy and smelled vaguely of like decaying fish. And Callie was like 100% certain that whatever the fuck that was, wasn't building materials. It wasn't some sort of industrial, like alchemical like stuff. But as to what it actually is, don't know. Dr. Trimmers also noticed a cat on the way out. It was the only thing that actually spotted him as it was going on, but it didn't give chase or anything like that. And just as a small spoiler, that cat is a cat the same way that Dr. Trimmers is a rat. Looks enough the part, and if anybody asked, the cat would tell you, I'm a cat. But anyways, yeah, also in perfect English. After this information gathering was done, you guys decided to head out to the Wolf Rise area of town, and you went over to Play Hard Field in order to talk to the Imperials, because you guys were thinking it'd probably be a good idea to take the information that we have gathered and talk to the Imperials, since we really don't know amongst the Uxlan people here who may or may not be in on things. Olgi, the priestess from the Halls of Rest, does seem to be socially connected, and generally, people talk about her positively. And nobody had anything bad to say about Aj, even though it was a little odd that she didn't interact with people anywhere outside of the job. So you guys went over to talk to the Imperials. You found a bunch of people in Play Hard Field. They were doing regular stuff, practicing for a jousting tournament. But there was a vibe that something was a bit amiss. Recently, a couple of days before y'all got here, there were some murders, fairly gruesome murders. People were burnt to crisps and just left in the street. There were 5 murders, at least it was recounted. There were 5 murders, 3 of them adults, 2 of them children, although one of them is children in like quotation marks because we're talking about like a 16-year-old. So technically within this society, not really a child. But us as modern people, we would still consider that a kid. But yeah, so but one of them was a child, like sub 10 years old. And they had complained, obviously, to like the guards and the authorities and whatnot. And for some reason, the Uxlan guards, which do have like, a jurisdiction here in Wolf Rise, they just haven't really done anything about it, and no one is 100% certain why that might be the case. So they went to effectively what is their representative in the local government, a guy named Officer Edisk, to ask him to like do something about it. And Edisk called in the Pathfinders. And so, but when you guys went to go talk to Edisk about it, he wasn't there at Playhard Field. So you went back over to Oglyre to talk to him in his office. There was a bit of player confusion. We had one of those.
Can you mark that on the map, by the way, as well?
The offices.
Oh yeah. Okay, never mind. I know. Sorry, I was.
Yeah, Oglyre Fortress, and also just right there where Torque is at on the map. That's where his office is. Like,
sorry.
Also, is somebody getting a text or something? Because I'm hearing like it's like a hang up noise or a notification noise. Please tell me I'm not the only one who's hearing that.
I heard something.
I think that might have been my phone vibrating. My bad.
No, you're good.
It was on the glass. It was on the glass table.
And I'm like, am I going crazy or something?
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Do you need to be in a rubber room? With rats?
A rubber room with rats.
Anyways,
they're in the goddamn
and
walls.
they're all talking.
Anyways, yeah. So we did have a moment there at the very end of last session where everybody was just streaming forward at full stream because we were all like really engaged and everything, and we started tripping each other's up. But hey, you know what? Everybody was big adults about that. We all put on our pull-ups and we fucking got through it. But basically, you guys went to talk to Edisk. Edisk was in his office. He was having a quote-unquote meeting with a quote-unquote Pathfinder. Actually, the Pathfinder around quotes, I'm just saying to be stupid. Boer is technically a member of the Pathfinder. Yeah, either way, you guys were like also members of the Pathfinders. I did ask about whether or not you guys were openly showing badges, and while nobody is openly showing it, Tim did flash his badge. So while it's not on the open, he did flash the badge though, right before like forcing the door open and coming in on Edith. Yeah,
full FBI fucking.
So he just babies like through the fucking door, and essentially the party realizes that like Edisk is very clearly not alone, although immediately it looks like he is, and there's somebody else behind the desk. This somebody else turns out to be the Nephilim named Boer. You guys know what Boer looks like.
Oh yeah.
Pink weirdo maroon hair that's very long, tentacle tail, that sort of thing.
Right, we possibly have seen them.
Yeah, where possibly could you have ever seen like literally every bit and piece of them from every fucking angle? Anyway, Boer was there, and once you guys presented your stuff about Olgi and the Draugr and the situation with all of that, it turned out that he was having a meeting with the Pathfinders, like legitimately, like previous to whatever was going on right when you guys walked. He was legitimately having a meeting dealing with something else. But Boer confirmed that they were the one who was watching you guys invisible in the evening. They confirmed that you were in that location, so you guys weren't lying about that to him. Although Boer also said that they could neither confirm nor deny any of the other stuff because they didn't themselves personally see it. After that, after getting this stuff clear, Boer said that they were going to step out, and you guys can finish up with Edisk, however that might end up going. And that was where we had ended. So I'm just going to say that we're going to come off of the pause button with Boer walking around the desk and giving you guys like a big like forced like smile and being like, I will be leaving now, and
Callie's gonna
stepping
be like,
toward.
wait, you didn't even show us your Pathfinder, so how do we even know you're not lying? She says before Boer leaves the room.
Well, miss, I could say the same. I have not seen Pathfinder badges on any of you.
She slaps Tim on the head.
Tim like flips his out.
I imagine Tim shows it kind of like how the guy in Raiders of the Lost Ark shows his like burnt hand.
Yeah, exactly like that.
So like Boer looks at that for a second, and then like they roll their yellow eyes, and they pull back their hood, so that they fully reveal their face and their horns and all that sort of bit, and you can see their like square pupils and all that sort of jazz. Everything that screams this is a Nephilim, which are super rare, by the way, and that Boer is specifically a pit-born Nephilim. But Boer pulls like the tie on their cloak to like loosen it up, and like dramatically like pulls that away so that you can see that under the cloak they are wearing clothing that should say that they would be fucking freezing to death underneath that, as it's essentially like something that looks vaguely like a tavern sort of like get up. Honestly, something you might like more imagine Torque to wear when she's like doing entertaining in Harham in the summer.
When it's warm.
Yeah, when it's like fucking warm out. But Boer dramatically like pulls that away and then like grabs like the top hem of their top, like right there at the chest, and just like bends that out to like flip it around, and like pinned to the inside there's a little Pathfinder badge. Like, see, I too am a member.
Alright.
Yes, it's exactly like that.
I imagine
exactly
when she starts
yeah.
imagine when like Boer starts taking clothes off, Cal's like, whoa.
Oh, you wanted to see what I had under there.
I said I wanted to see the pin. I didn't want to see that.
I think he's trying to see what's under there.
Well, it was under here.
You couldn't have unpinned it, Callie says.
I still would have had to have taken off the cloak. I mean, this thing is not nearly as flexible as a lot of people think it is. And like, you see Boer's tail just like slaps around and just like knocks a random thing off of Edith's desk and sends it careening across the room. Which Boer like looks at with like mild annoyance, and then just looks back at Callie and is like, it's not nearly as dexterous as a lot of people think. No.
All right.
Still,
well,
now that we have confirmed to each other that we are members of the same, very broadly associated guild, maybe we should be less antagonistic to each other. I am willing to do cooperation with you, and I'm sure that my party members would be willing as well once the situation is explained.
Well, Boer, you said, if you were me, you wouldn't trust anybody. I'm sorry if I was antagonistic, but I always gotta be sure. I've been tricked one too many times, and it's ruined my life, so I just gotta be careful.
I can appreciate that. I have had similar things happen to me. I have also been the one who has done some of the tricking in the past, so again, this is understandable. So that we are on the same page. You know my name. What is your name, ma'am?
Califino, she says, and it puts her hands on her hips again, and it does a little cackle.
Well, Kelly, I am here dealing with updating Officer Edisk on the things that my party is currently embroiled with. I do not know if you are aware, but there's been some murders over in the Fries district where most of the Imperials are based at. And for some reason, Forney's forces don't seem to be particularly way. It's not a spirit. We know that part now. When I was out the other evening and happened to see you in your group, it was because I was following a lead to do a little bit of investigation, since I have the magical capacity to be cloaked in invisibility and fly, and I can see in the dark. I'm just simply pretty good at tracking things at night like that. And I happened to see you while that was going on. Perhaps there might be some way that our two different things here intersect with each other. This Olgi person that was mentioned, this priestess at the Halls of Rest. What do you know about Olgi specifically?
Well, only what I've been told, I guess.
I think this is the yeah. I think this is the part where June would step up and explain that she was the one that, or I know, fuck it, I'll repeat it. I was the one that that met with Olgi. We investigated the place a bit, and I did see her and another old woman. They were doing. I'm trying to refresh my memory here. They were like cooking something, or no? They were like preparing like herbs, or. Like what? Can you refresh my memory, Fuzzy? What exactly that Ogi and the other old woman was doing?
They were in fact preparing herbs of some sort. Although it smelled more like incense rather than like, say, herbs that would be used for cooking or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they were preparing something at the time when you arrived, but it wasn't like, it was not clearly obvious exactly what they were doing, but given context, it was probably, like herbal ritual stuff, or something that has to do with preservatives, that kind of stuff.
And important question I was going to ask: does June know? Like, I know there's like, excuse me. I know that it is a thing in like some spell effects, like where the target or if the target passes, they are aware of the effect, like being like they try to do something to you, or was that is that something June is aware of?
In most cases, unless an ability says that you aren't aware of it, unless you like critically pass or whatever, then you are aware of it. And just to be clear, let me bring up Olgi's thing so we can specifically look at the wording on it. Let's see here. Bring up,
because June did pass, but I do not believe it was a critical pass, right?
No, it was not a critical pass, but June did pass, and it was one of those like, if you pass, basically nothing happens, or mechanically nothing happens. let's see here.
So just like in like as so like the character me or player me knows that like Olgi tried to do something and I had to make a save, but like June the character does not know that like Olgi tried to do something.
June the character wouldn't know what Olgi tried, but June the character would be aware that Olgi did something. And June obviously would have enough experience and lives in a world where this is a thing that it was probably some sort of magic, but whatever it was, it didn't latch on so far as June is aware.
Okay. All right. So that's going to be, all right. From the top, I'll take a sip of water real quick.
Yep.
June will pipe up as Callie looks towards her and say, yes, we met with Olgi the other day, actually. We walked in on her performing a ritual to raise a corpse, but it seemed that at least judging from the relative or spouse that was also observing the ritual, that it did not have that person's soul in the corpse. And I personally also snooped around there, and I peeked in on her and another old woman preparing some herbs of some kind. It may have just been something for embalming. It may have been something ritualistic, I'm not sure. But after peeking in, I did pretend to stumble in at a later point, and Olgi seemed a bit upset at my presence, and she offered her hand to shake mine, and to keep up appearances, I also shook her hand. And when she did that, I believe she tried to cast some sort of maybe spell or maybe some kind of effect on me, but it must have not stuck, or maybe I shrugged it off, because she then seemed even more upset and then told me to go outside and sleep with the people huddled out in the snow. Let's put it that way.
I believe we are beyond a point of using euphemisms. Are you telling me that Olgi told you to go fuck the homeless people or actually sleep?
I believe that's what she is implying, yes. She kind of rolls her eyes.
Huh. That doesn't seem like very priestess behavior to me, and I know a couple of priestesses.
Yes, and I did see when I was peeking in that Olgi's hands were... I wouldn't say that they were quite undead, but they did look really dry and cracked. And when I pretended to knock and come in the first time, they quickly covered their hands again. So that may be a clue, perhaps, or maybe they just have a condition.
Didn't Fuzzy say the hands were like freezing cold or something like that? When she,
yes,
and
they were also freezing cold.
Oh yeah, and Juno mentioned that, yeah. So she may not be undead, but she certainly does match the surroundings.
Again, I do not wish to make anything impropriety, but can I see the hand that she shaked, please? Your hand?
All right, and June kind of like glance at the party, like just like okay, like, and she will step in front of Boer, and she will extend the hand that she shook hands with Olgi with.
All right. Well, then you immediately feel, that little prickle tingle along your skin that says that like magic is happening, as Boer like reaches forward to like grab your hand in theirs and squints at it. And there is the movement of magic and stuff. You've been you've been inside the like detect magic and read aura and stuff like that. So yeah, all of that is going on. Now, if you guys will pause for just a brief second, my mom just walked in. Let me talk to her for a moment, and I'll be right back.
No problem.
No problem.
Yes, and speaking of moms, mine is gonna be out of town, so I have the house to myself. Yay! I can finally relax. I can like don't have to worry about them like barging in the middle of the game.
I apologize if I go like in and out. I don't.
No, you're fine.
He's feeling it, bro.
You're fine.
I don't know if it's just that, because I don't know, man.
I mean, it might not be. You are the same guy who ate expired cream cheese.
That's true. Wait,
what?
Yeah, a while back I got some cream cheese from a friend, or was clearing out a refrigerator as I was leaving my job, and it had cream cheese in it, and I grabbed it and didn't even check the date, and it was like 2 or 3 months out of date.
Huh?
Yeah, it was unopened, but it was 2 or 3 months out of date. So
I mean, did it taste off? Like, did you not?
No.
He still felt sick. He still got sick.
I still felt sick though.
He didn't. He told us that he didn't know like what else it could have been. So
yeah, so I chucked it and I haven't had it. I'm thinking it's probably Taco Bell, and I put some like probiotic stuff in some water, and I think they're just fighting in my stomach right now.
They're Dragon Ball Z fighting.
It feels like it.
I would say, do you have any Tums or anything of the sort?
He said he took some earlier.
Yeah, I took some Tums before the game started.
Oh god, do you remember when the Guilty Gear Strive source code got leaked, and it's like they found that they had a Goku from Fighters in the files, and he's like a load-bearing file for whatever reason, like the coconut chin peg, and it's like the memes of what if Goku was betrayed, but it's like what if Goku was strapped in the code of fighting game.
God,
yeah. So what's
like
funny about that is that there's a program that I follow. They go by Rin, and they actually. Oh, hey, Fuzzy. And they actually had Goku be playable in one of the builds of Strive. And now imagine trying to fight Goku with his Season 1 Dragon Ball Fighter Z moveset as Potemkin with his Guilty Gear Strive moveset. That shit sucks.
I heard your fighting game was pretty strong. Let me fight it. But welcome back, Fuzzy.
It's me. I'm Goku. So yeah. So anyways, Boer does some quick magical scanning of where Olgi touched June a couple of sessions ago now, but actually slightly less than 24 hours ago. And after just a moment or two, they look back up at June and kind of squint, and they're like, "Can you? I know you said that her hands were dry and cracked and very cold, but could you give me a good physical description of Olgi? I have not seen the woman myself, and I don't have any real reason."
Well, that is I guess the problem is that she keeps herself wrapped up in baggy robes. I mean, I've seen priestesses' robes before, but it seems like she wants to keep herself hidden.
I mean, an easy descriptor, Callie kind of like chimes in, is she's tall.
Oh yeah, she's very tall.
Very bulky, if I remember correctly. She was very
how tall? Like taller than your automaton?
Yeah, I think so. Right? Yeah.
Didn't you say?
Oh yeah,
she's like 9 feet tall.
Yeah, didn't you say she'd be about the same height as Mr. Servo, standing on his like hind legs or whatever? Like, or did you say he was like?
Yeah,
yeah.
She would be roughly that big. Like if she was standing at, like, every time you guys have interacted with her, she's hunched. If she were standing at full height, like she could look down at Gloria.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So June kind of goes back and forth with like the party, like, well, she's kind of hunched over, but like if she were to stand up, she probably would be taller than like Gloria, right? Yeah, and like you're like kind of like going back and forth with Callie about that.
Yeah.
Oh well, okay. So I am going to have here. So I need to look up their. I need to check the PDF because I haven't actually gotten this stuff copied into form yet.
No problem.
Okay, so
the
Boer's got that check on this, and then let me check Olgi again, just to make sure I'm on the right one. Yes, okay. All right, so Boer, your check is a plus 14. Okay, so we'll do this as a public record. Let's see here. Boer, I need you to roll 1d20 plus 14.
Hey.
Okay. All right. Nice. So Boer like actually goes back and forth with you over some like fine details, like very fine details as best you can get on Olgi's physical description, kind of what Olgi sounds like, and that sort of stuff. And while they're like going back and forth with June and Callie and everybody else on the couple of interactions that you guys have had, like everybody else could see that like behind June, like Tort's got her arms crossed, is like looking it's looking increasingly like sour like by the minute. But after a couple of minutes of discussing back and forth, like Edis speaks up, and he's basically, is there a point to this discussion? Obviously, if we really need to get you a good look at Olgi, it would not be difficult too. We know where Olgi is located at, and there's plenty. It's basically a public space. We could walk in if we needed to. And Boer holds up a hand and says, "This is enough information, actually. I think I know what's going on here. And it is the worst option of what is going on here." So, Olgi, I am almost completely positive that Olgi is a what do you call in Empire? Olgi is a hag, and that's bad. That's bad if you know anything about hags. They are incredibly dangerous creatures. But the problem is that we are also here chasing a hag. That means that there's two hags.
Oh, and question: do we need to roll like a history or occultism for knowing what a hag is?
Basic information of hag, usually a old lady that has magical powers that also has like a hate boner towards people. That's common knowledge. So no check there. If you would like to make a specific check on like what you might know about hags, that's going to be a society check.
Oh hell yeah!
Society. Let's go.
Oh my god! I rolled a 2.
I rolled a 1.
I am not trained in society, but 9th level feat, incredible improvisation. I get to get a +4 circumstance bonus to the skill check. So it's going to be +4 to the society check because we live in one.
Unfortunately.
Oh man.
Don't know what hags are.
Oh man. God,
wow.
What a great start already, everyone.
You know what? For shits and giggles, I'm not trained in society, but you know what? I'll give it a roll. Son of a bitch.
Bro, dude, he got a nat 20, and he's only one higher than me.
Just be like, aren't they like fairy tales?
Unfortunately, no, they are not fairy tales. But if you are aware of your fairy tale law, you may know that when hags are bad, but when hags are in groups, it is infinitely worse. My party, the thing that Ed asked the Pathfinders to look into, has been we have been tracking a creature that has been preying on the Imperial, and people were making the assumption that he was a spirit, but we figured out pretty quickly it wasn't. And after a little bit, I realized we were dealing with a hag. The fact that I was following that hag last night, and it led me over to the Halls of Rest. And what you have described to me sounds like a hag, and I would know. I was trained by Baba Yaga, so.
Okay, do we need to know a society or coalition to check for?
That's a religion check.
Yeah, okay, religion.
Check.
I got nothing.
Do I need to be trained?
All right.
Need to be trained.
I am trained in it. Let's go. 22.
My bad.
Hey, actually, Fuzzy, since I wasn't trained in society and I still rolled a 20, what was the DC for the society check?
The DC for the society check to
the hag
for just knowing that Olgi is probably a hag, that was a DC 20. Knowing specifics, it's a DC 30.
I could have rolled that.
Well,
if I just rolled like a 10 or higher, but I rolled a 2 instead. You know, whatever, man.
Hey, you'll get another chance. It'll come up.
Maybe.
What is
the die are never in my court?
Damn, never mind.
Woof.
What does that 22 get me?
Well, with the 22, you know that Baba Yaga is, but not a god. Baba Yaga is Baba Yaga is sometimes known as the grandmother of hags, but she is not a hag. Honestly, hags are basically the with year 20. You know that Baba Yaga, as a legendary figure, that she's supposed to be the OG hag, and the things that you call hags, the things that we call hags now, they are pale shadows of the OG.
Like that's the fairy tale.
She's the fairy tale. So Boer is claiming to have been taught by the actual fairy tale that the real, nearly fairy tale monsters are based off of.
Yeah. So June's just gonna kind of look at her look at them incredulously, and just be like, "No, that's that. What? No, that's."
Kelly will chime in and he's like, I mean, that's not the weirdest thing we've been told though, Jude. We spoke with a cyclops that was claimed to be several thousand years old and shot lasers out of its eyes.
Gosh. Dude, it's like we just keep stumbling into these things. First it was the Golgotha, then is it the Cyclops mummy? It's Dolgotho or Golgotho?
Golgotha.
Yeah. First it was the Golgotho, then it was the dragon.
Goldaco.
And now it's a hag. She's just and now Baba Yaga, she kind of exasperatedly gestures to Boer. She's just
flabbergasted.
This is too much.
As far as I know, the only thing that Baba Yaga has to do with what is going on here is me. And I am, at least at this moment, on your side, so not really something to be worried about.
If you say so.
So, there are at least 2 hags. Since it seems that you aren't up to date on hag lore, so that you are aware, when hags come in groups of 1 or 3. And if we have seen 2 hags, that means there is a third one.
Oh,
There's a
Callie
third
then.
hag that we have
Callie's
not
like,
found
I
yet.
think I know who the third hag is.
Who?
What was their fucking name again?
Aj.
Aj.
I do not know this person. And like, like they looks over at like Edisk, and Edisk is just like, oh, just cry.
Callie's like, when we were down in that area that you saw saw us in, Miss Olgi came down there and was giving commands to her creatures, and she mentioned that she needed to meet this Aj.
Oh, this is that is not good then. But that gives us 3 names then. We know Olgi, we know this Aj person, and the one that we have been giving chase to. I'm almost, again, 100% certain, but I haven't confirmed it really, that one is called Sverga.
What the fuck? I tried sending something in Discord and it was like, nope. Oh, fuck, there it goes. I just wanted to agree with my friend, whatever. The fuck you too, Discord, I guess.
How do you spell that?
Sverga?
Yes.
I'll put it in chat.
Oh, thank you. I'm still probably gonna pronounce it wrong.
Sverga.
Svergia.
So we got Sverga, we got Olgi, and we got Aj. And according to Boer, that means we've got a coven.
Fuck.
We're dealing with a coven of hags.
Well, you know.
So
I'll be right back. Hold on. I'm sorry.
With this slight bombshell of information being given to the party and to Edisk, Edisk takes the documentation that you guys were had given to him, and he gets up from his desk. He goes over to a little side, basically like filing cabinet, and he opens up the filing cabinet, digs in it for a moment, pulls out a wooden box, opens the wooden box, puts the evidence in the wooden box, and then locks it. And he puts that back into the back into the drawer, closes it again, and turns around and looks at the party plus Boer, and he says, if there are hags in this town, and Olgi is one of them, and Aj is one of them, then that means that the Empire has been doing with a hag for upwards of 45 years. And Olgi, as far as I am aware, has been the town priestess for the Halls of Rest for bare minimum 70 years.
Well, crazier things have happened. Callie says, while shrugging her hands and like doing this gesture of like, well, man, like.
Oh, shit happened. Should be happening.
Shit do indeed be
happening.
happening.
About the only thing shit be doing is happening. Fuck.
Shit do be happening. So here really comes up the gameplay. Is since the party is aware of the fact that there are hags and has a pretty good idea on who those hags are, the question is, how do you guys want to tackle dealing with hags? Which hag do you want to try to get to first, or what do you want to do? Where does the party want to go from here? Let's discuss options.
I imagine we want to deal with Aj first, right? Olgi is a big issue, obviously, but she seems like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She seems like a bigger beast to deal with, considering she's been a priestess for 70 years, where Aj is more connected to Viva Machina and all the soul gem stuff as well.
Yeah,
and,
I also wanted to
I don't even know about Sverga. This first time we've heard of her, so
Yeah, that was why in character I wanted to ask if Boer happens to know what led them to finding Sverga? Like what aspect of her led, like, because we have an idea that
Besides,
Aj might be connected to
yeah.
Viva Machina, Olgi is Halls of Rest. What is Sverga doing?
According
Besides
to
her,
Boer, according to Boer, murder is what Sverga seems to be about.
Well,
Sverga is a hag, but Sverga is like on top of being a hag. Sverga is also a serial killer.
oh, so she's not even like a
And
smart hag, Callie says out loud. Like, at least the other two, they kind of like got a position in government, or at least pretending to be normal. She's just like, nah, I gotta kill.
Boer actually puts forward the supposition that like when they in their party had kind of come to the conclusion that they were dealing with a hag, and they also had this like moment of like, so she's just a supernatural like serial killer. Is that what's going on? And Boer puts forward the theory that they think that is a
Is a
You're
what?
cutting out there a bit. You're like,
Robot voicing,
yeah.
They believe, or they have a theory, that Sverga is a young hag and has not like settled into her
Her
yeah,
like, position.
particularly position, yeah, like her position of social status and whatnot.
So that
They
makes...
describe they describe Sverga as they have seen her, and they apparently Sverga has two forms. Sverga has a humanoid form that looks like a woman, but she's not an old lady. Like, like hooks a thumb over at like Torque and is like looks young like her. But her other form is she can turn into like a ball of fire and fly, and that ball of fire can turn invisible. So she's next to invisible in daylight. When it's dark, when it's dark and she's in that form and moving around, she's bright. She's like she casts light. So that's why Boer was actually following them with their ability to fly, was like following Sverga while Sverga was like zipping through the town after nightfall. So yeah. But yeah, so Sverga seems to be the young one out of all of them. Sverga, probably
it seems like how the hierarchy is she's the young one, Aj is the middle one, and then Olgi seems to be the oldest, at least by just the fact that she's been a priestess for 70,
yeah,
and that she's in such a high power, such a high position of power.
Yeah, and Boer would note that generally, like with dragons, with hags, the older they are, the more powerful they are.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say something like, so it'd be like choosing a difficulty at this point.
Tim would just pipe up and ask, you said you had a party that you're traveling with, correct?
Yes, this is correct. I have 3 other companions. There's a young priest with us. His name is Thomas, and then there is his the older priestess. Her name is Oda, and then we also have a lady Pentacus. Her name is actually Saffron. She's from the north, like west part of the empire, over near the Kingdom of Thorn.
And where are you and your party staying? Are you staying with the Pathfinders Guild, or are you in an inn in the city?
Well, you may not have noticed if you've only been here for a little. There actually is not a Pathfinder Lodge here.
That is true.
And if there are well-established hags here, that might make some sense why there isn't a Pathfinder Lodge. We're staying at a inn over in the Wolfreis area, since when we were originally called in to investigate, that was where everything was going on at, and that's where we were tracking Sverga. So that's where we have been around. And Boer kind of like casts like a sideways glance over at Edisk, and then like looks back at the party. Is like, the reason I am here specifically is because Thomas declined Edisk's offer to keep him up to date on what was going on. So that's why I'm here. They are over in Wolfreis, keeping an eye out on the things, trying to. We were trying to set up a situation to catch Sverga. Not only can she change forms, but she also has the ability to possess people.
Oh, sure, why not?
Taking a step out.
Oh yes, with hags, it just gets worse every time.
Well, yeah, you know.
Taking a bit of step out of
James
character.
just like kind of like finger at like her temple, just kind of rubbing it, just like. Are you okay, Danger?
Yeah, no, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I know you're not feeling good. All right, do you need to take a minute, or?
No, I was just gonna say, like, out of character, I wanted to ask the rest of the party if you think it would be a good idea to let Boer know, to like let the rest of their party know about our plan to.
You're saying this in like a different language?
No, I'm saying this like players.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking to you guys
out of
as
character.
players.
Out of character.
Yeah.
I mean,
just if.
I mean,
just let them.
Maybe just the generalistics, not like the underlying part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The part where they're like, they squint and they're like, you know, that's kind of downright evil, and then you know, start like reevaluating our alliance, kind of thing.
Yeah, I was more referencing if we wanted to let them know that we're gonna pull up on. Like
pull up on
the place tonight.
Yeah.
Just check out the place that we found.
Magic drive by.
Like, what's up? Maybe they can help us out.
Yeah, I think that would be fine. I mean, since we literally have like established that they're part of this like trifecta of hags in this city, it would probably be a good idea to mention that now.
Plus, it'd be a good idea to meet up there with the rest of their party. We could either go see them in Wolfreis, or they come here.
If they catch Sverga and we go take down ours, then like we meet up and then we just take down Olgi or something.
That's true.
But,
do you think they could? Well, I say, do you think they could take out Sverga themselves? But they're a pretty competent party.
Yeah, she just told us like, oh yeah.
Just so that you guys know what you're dealing with as far as the other adventurers are concerned. Oda, Tommy, Boer, and Saffron, they are just like Rusi and Torque. They are 8th level NPCs. They are otherwise very experienced adventurers and all that sort of stuff. So essentially, the way that I was going to play this out was that if you guys wanted to work together with them to try to take down the hags or like set up a plan or something like that, then everybody can basically get together, figure out a way to do that. Or alternatively, if you guys wanted to do that specific plan that you're talking about now, like have them go after one while you go after another one, so that the hags can't like combo together like a Megazord, then
fucking Voltron.
Then yeah, you could also do it that way. And what I was going to have happen then is I was essentially just going to have you guys roll, and based off of the results will be what happens to them. You guys have like an adventure like normal, but I was just going to have you guys like roll a dice, and
so you're saying
depending
if we
on
have a TPK, then they get a TPK too.
Or we could pass and somebody rolls bad on their group and we just lose Tommy or something like that. We just lose an NPC.
Tommy just dies before us ever getting to meet him.
Yeah, Tommy dies before you guys ever even fucking see him. Of course, the other thing is that you could also, like I said, you could team up to like jump a single hag, or like try to ensure that the trifecta of hags loses one of its foundational pegs. So that's really the question that we come to at this point is, do you guys want to to communicate to Boer of like, hey, let's kind of work together here. Your party handles Sverga. We'll handle Aj at the same time, so that they can't call in each other as reinforcements.
Yeah.
Separate them that way. Obviously, of course, that means if one of them cries for Olgi, and Olgi does actually like show up, then you do still have two hags to deal with. So I guess the question is that, do you want to combo with them, combo separately, or some other option?
I think if we were to combo, like either one works for me, but I think if we were going to combo, we could combo and just stomp Olgi. Because if we were going to go separate ways, we take out the two lower level ones.
Well,
but if we're going to work together, cut off the head kind of thing.
I wouldn't say right now, though.
Oh, no.
Definitely not first in the line, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, as like just speaking out of character, the probably safest bet, like not just for us but also the NPCs, would be to all just like walk in and just curb stomp the one hag and like just like blow them out of the water, like in just like action economy. For efficiency's sakes, we could like have like just like do a two-pronged attack where like we blitz two out of the three hags.
That's exactly
and like
they
don't really have that time to like react or even like I guess either alert or notice like hey, somebody just went dark, or I don't know if like hags have like hag phone or something, but
they have radar. I mean, that's what I was thinking. I said like they take out Sverga while we take out Aj, and then we combo Ogi. That's what I was thinking anyway.
I think that would be a good idea.
I'm kind of leaning towards like like double teaming, but if we want to do like a one in one, that might be. I'm fine for that too.
1-in-1 is fine, or something that like double stomp Aj, then double stomp Olgi, and all that's left is Sverga, the young one, who against a twin attack would not be able to.
I was gonna say gang up on the child.
We're ganging up on the.
Because if we can stomp the middle person, then we know we're at least able to take out the biggest person, and then it's just the kid that's left.
To throw my 2 cents in here, I do think tactically speaking that it would be the best bet for you guys to pick a hag that you want your party to tackle, and then send the other party, the NPC party, at the other hag at the same time, again, so that they can't call reinforcements with each other. Yeah. And then both of you come together to take down Olgi, who is, by all current assessments, the big hag in the totem pole.
All right. Well,
all right.
Probably, us take Aj, they take Sverga, and we both double team Olgi.
Just elbow drop grandma. Fuck yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Curb stomp grandma, bust in there and be like, your hagging days are done, lady.
All right, one second, guys. So I think we're gonna do the split the party or split the two parties thing, but they're gonna go for Sverga, and we're gonna go for Olgi or Aj.
Oh, no, Aj. Yeah, no, not Olgi. Fuck, we'll get fucking
stomped. And then together we stomp Olgi.
Yeah.
All right. So is that the plan?
I
like that plan.
I like that plan, yeah.
Okay. But I do think it would be a good idea for the two parties to meet at the very least to talk before we go.
You guys. This would have to be done. You would have to meet with them in order to
regroup at
before the blood is spilled.
Yeah. Yes. How about we have our parties go the separate. We have the two parties go. We synchronize our attacks at the same time roughly, and then we regroup. Yeah, then we regroup back here at the roughly around the same place, like the fortress, this little courtyard area, and then from there, go confront Olgi at the Hall's Arrest right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Does that sound good?
So that sounds good to me. So we pop back into in character, in game, and you guys have a discussion with Boer over this. Boer seems on board. Seems like to them that this sounds like a good idea, and so Boer is going to take that information back over to the other members of their party, discuss it with them. They will then meet back up with you guys. What is a third location that you think that the two parties can meet with each other to discuss this with hopefully no hags overhearing anything?
There might be the Copper Depths, maybe.
We go. You're telling us to go down 100 feet into the ground.
Well, not like there, but like.
I feel like discussing it inside the city might be a bad idea if we're going to choose a third location where we don't want to be heard. Considering the whole inner gate has magic around it.
Yeah, or we could have them meet us at our airship.
That is true. Yeah, we could do that.
And that's a bit closer.
That is a controlled location. Yeah.
We could also just fly. We could fly our ship like over here. We could just fly our ship like way out of the way.
Well,
be like, hey, we'll be right back.
Discuss that with the local government first.
That's true. We don't want to talk to the government.
Yeah,
well, at the moment, we don't need to tell them like why. We just say we'd like to be in a more favorable position next to the Empire or something. I don't know.
You know what? That is entirely possible, and Edis could do that. Edis could be like talk to the other, the Uxlander authority here, and be like, yeah, since these guys are Imperial, merchants, it makes sense for them to be over where the other Imperial merchants, as opposed to parked randomly on the other side of town. Just because there was an empty field there. There's plenty of empty fields over on the other side of town where all the Imperials are at. So that basically isn't even a lie. So yeah.
All right. That gives him something to contribute to as well. Yeah.
Okay. All right then. So that's a good plan. So that is we will say that Edis puts through the thing so that you guys can return to the airship, and then the airship will be piloted across town over here into Rise. So let me just move the flying angler over here. We're not going to park it near Play Hard because we know that's where Sverga is hanging out. So we'll park that. So we'll park that kind of distant from there. Okay. So then, the party has the other party meet them. And I know that we're not actually doing this at Play Hard, but I'm just going to go ahead and move us to the Play Hard map because that's where all of the fucking tokens are for all of the characters.
Alrighty,
so let me move us over to Play Hard Field.
I don't ever say it because it doesn't make sense for me to say it, but every single time we meet a new character that we are talking to, Tim gives them like the lawyer handshake.
Hi,
it's like, good evening, hello.
I'm Saul. Okay, so
I'm Saul Botman.
Yeah, right.
Did you know that? Okay, so meets up. Whatnot, and obviously, of course, like there's Boer, which you guys have already talked to. Tommy comes up, and I'm going to need a roll here actually in a minute. And we've got Oda. Okay, all right. So, yeah. So when you guys bring the I'm going to say actually that the meeting is taking place on the ship and in the air, because Boer lets you know that you can have your floating ship up there. They will dock with you.
I see.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They have a flying vehicle too.
Yes, they do have a flying vehicle, which is basically just like a food cart, essentially. Like it's a pedal-powered, three-wheeled bike that has a giant-ass cauldron, like in the front part, and then Boer sits on the back, like where the pedals and all that sort of jazz is. Although, like as they're getting there, Boer's barely pedaling the damn thing. Like hardly putting any effort into it, but they're cruising along. They uncloak, they get nearby, so they come out of invisibility, and on either side of the food cart there are stool tops. Like they don't have legs, they're just the top of the stool, with the padding on it, that are just tethered to but floating next to the cart and sitting on 3 of the 4 available stool seats. There is a dark-skinned human woman with bright pink hair, and as you get close, also like bright pink cat whiskers. Then you have Tommy, who is, for all intents and purposes, just a regular human dude. He's very obviously of Imperial descent, and also very obviously, also very obviously of Imperial. There is a very like thick halfling woman that is there. So real quick, as they pull up and like you are and all of the NPCs are meeting you guys at the same time. I need June specifically to roll a society
check. Okay. Right. And well, I'm not trained, so let's spin the wheel on this feat again.
Spin the wheel.
Maybe I'll toss in like a trained or something, and I get the next level up or 2. I don't know. So +4 to whatever this roll is. Oh man. Do I want to reroll that? Do I want to reroll that?
You should have a hero point.
I mean, like, you could just wait for Callie
well
to come in and be like, "Ayo, I got this."
I mean, you might as well.
I mean, yeah, might as well burn that hero point we get for free for the session, and +4 to whatever this is.
Okay.
Oof, indeed. Okay, so now
should I rewind time?
You don't have to. I'd hold your rewind time. Yeah.
Okay.
You want to just like
so now I need to, you may see June's sheet open and close.
I see it.
Hold on, because I gotta check something on June's.
Yeah, she's not trained in society.
June has a 75 to AC. Oh my god.
It's very odd, honestly, that you not trained in society as a rogue.
Yeah.
That it's kind of funny that's not where your training is.
I have diplomacy, intimidation.
Meanwhile,
I'm expert in intimidation. I think that's just like from rogue bonuses.
Okay. All right. All right. So I see the DC that I need to, because this is a secret roll.
Oh man, that's not good.
Okay. This is a secret roll, so I need to.
They shoot us with a
let's roll the dice here
or something.
Okay.
Start falling out of the sky at Mach 20.
Okay, my dude.
Big dog.
Big dog.
All right. So, yeah, they pull up and they pull alongside the flying angler, the flying vessel, and Boer just kind of like guides up next to, and then like reaches into like a little cabinet cubby thing that's like built into the cart, opens it up. You see a lot of plates, silverware, that sort of stuff, but also a rope with a hook on it that Boer just like latches to the railing of your sort of thing of like, all right, there, we're attached.
All right,
and
it's like a rope of climbing or something.
Yeah, it's just no, it's literally just a rope
Oh, all right.
Just anchor so it don't fly away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just anchor the flying vessel to your flying vessel so that they don't separate from each other. And then everybody departs and gets onto the much larger flying vessel that is the flying angler. And as everybody is getting on and whatnot, and they begin saying their hellos. Oda is very clearly the one who is just immediately in the lead for everyone, saying, hi, how you doing? My name is Oda Button. I am a priestess of
Oda
the god Kurgan.
But
Oda Button.
Button?
Like a button that you
I'm
press.
sorry, I know how he's saying this out loud. Dog Button? What's her first name?
Doc Button? Her name is Heather.
Has she ever said this?
How does Callie know that? Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, has she ever
at least said their first name?
Yeah. Mentioned
yes, she has.
Oh, she has?
Yes,
Okay.
it's been several times in front of Callie, yeah.
Alright, Dr. Heather Button?
And the family resemblance is obvious. But Oda's like, you know my aunt?
Yeah.
I haven't talked to her in a while. Is she still over in Harham?
No. Callie
well,
says.
she's over near Harham.
She's in the area, but not specifically Harham.
Oh. Well, I was planning on coming to visit sometime soon, but I hadn't heard that she had moved. I'll have to send a letter or something to get her actual address. But hey, that's cool that you know my aunt. But yeah, I'm a priestess of Kyrgyz. I am I am a priestess legally speaking, but really I'm a dare chaser. Don't worry, there's a whole bunch of details behind that, but don't worry, it's not important.
Right.
But I'm effectively I'm a priestess, okay? I'm not a cleric, to just be clear on that. I'm not a cleric. Tommy here also legally a priest, that's his job, but also not a cleric.
Okay.
If we're going to be working together, and that means that we're going to get into combat with dangerous creatures like hags, and somebody needs healing, I'm afraid you really need to talk to Saffron. Saffron's really our healer person. But anyways, yeah, I'm Oda. Like I said, this is Tommy. This is Saffron, and of course, you guys have already met Boer. Boer's kind of our magical consultant. Is that what we're calling you now? Consultant?
Magically attuned.
Well, I mean, both. I'm magically attuned. Boer's magically attuned. Saffron's magically attuned. Tommy's just, cool. Yeah, Tommy's just cool.
Oops, all spellcasters.
But but yeah, I'm glad to meet you, and I'm glad that we have some backup. I've only ever come across a hag once, and it was a single hag. And if there's 3 of them in town, I'm glad to have the backup. I'm really happy that you're here. So, Boer gave us
the hag expert if they were trained by Baba Yaga.
Yeah. Yeah, Boer is the expert here, but and I don't think that we could really move forward without Boer's advice on what we're going to have to do here.
Dr. Tremors on her head, and Dr. Tremors just says in Oda's voice, just Baba Yaga. And Callie's shush. He's my dog.
Brick barks.
Dr. Tremors barks back at him in the same inflections too.
You just start barking.
Well, I mean, aren't we the just colorful bunch? Okay, yeah. This is what it's like when Pathfinders get together. It's just a whole bunch of crazy horse shit. And we're looking at each other being like, what now? You're You cast what spell? I mean,
I do like Jamal being there.
I've only seen one person's skin be ripped off them completely once. I'd rather not see that again.
I've seen my dad cut somebody in half, and I've seen that happen I think 100 times now, and I don't get tired of it every time.
Is that
shucks, sweetheart?
Oda, when Callie says that, Oda looks at Rusi, and she's like, "You've cut somebody in half?"
Oh wait, no.
And Rusi's like, "No, I'm not her dad."
Yeah, no, he's
I'm not her dad. I'm her brother.
Callie points at Seamus. He's my dad.
Seamus waves, and you just see a smile. He's like, "Hi."
He waves with the third hand. Both of his normal hands are to his side, and you just see a hand stick out of the cloak, and it starts waving at her.
third hand just comes up and finger guns.
Tim just full stops. Tim just full stops and goes, "Yeah, Callie built me."
Yeah, I did build him.
Okay.
Callie says sneakily.
Okay, wow. Boer just said that you guys were okay, just between us, since we're up here and no one can hear us, is the merchant thing for real, or is that just bullshit?
It's half and half, I would say.
Call me.
Say 80-20. Mostly real, but
Yeah. I mean,
kind of how
Callie points at herself yeah, Callie points at herself I can craft anything, and I would definitely like to be of service by selling my products to the known world. She says.
Okay, so all right, so that's legit. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Just I was curious, because flying ship, merchants, and then you guys, because I've
isn't it? Callie says.
I mean, it is. Not gonna lie, that is actually pretty good cover. Also, you're gonna have to tell me where you got the big flying boat from one of these days, because
do I have a story?
We got a story for you.
I mean,
how long do you want it to be? Is the question. Callie says.
Let's deal with the hags first before we really get into that part.
Probably best. I had to tell this story to the guards as well.
Okay, so I guess all of that aside, okay, I guess really what we need to do first is we probably just need to sit and have a powwow and know, where everybody's sort of training and specialty is, so that we can figure out what we're going to do. When Boer gave me the rundown, I think that what we're going to do is we're basically just going to do what we originally came here to do and take down the hag that we're pretty sure it's called Sverga. And Boer mentioned that you guys knew about the two other hags. One of them was called Olgi and one of them was called Aj.
Yes.
Olgi's the old one, which, again, going on Boer's expertise in this particular situation, they're the powerful one. So we'll take care of Sverga, and you guys take care of Aj, and then, and again, correct me if I'm wrong here, but the concept is that we do these things, and then after they're taken out, we both go after Olgi at the same time, and basically just try to overwhelm her with numbers and power, right?
Yeah. That's the plan.
Okay.
More or less.
All right. Okay.
More or less, yeah.
I understand all of these things, so I think we're all on the same boat, literally and metaphorically. So let's just sit talk with each other, just get discussion of what, who's got what kind of abilities, spells, magic items, take a good inventory, which we're not going to do like actually out loud here in game because they're pointing that. But Oda is suggesting essentially that everybody get together and like throw out like, here's what I'm good at, here's what we're going to do, yada yada yada, so that you guys can make the plans for when you come together to take down Obi. Otherwise, the other part of the discussion is when you guys want to go after Aj, like timing and that sort of thing, so that they can also spring their trap on Sverga. And specifically, Oda brings up the fact that like amongst their group, the only person who can really see well in the dark is Boer, which is very helpful. But the other problem is that Sverga's basically invisible when not like pretending to be a person. Sverga's basically invisible during the day, but is visible at night. Like she basically glows like a torch. So it would be beneficial for them to do this in sort of like in the evening when the light is getting low, but it hasn't like completely out, because they're still mostly operating on human vision for the most part, and that is when Sverga is going to be most visible. So will that work for you to go after the hag named Aj
in the evening?
Yeah. Can I do a memory check to see if anybody mentioned what time the shop closes down, quote unquote?
Yes. Make this is specifically knowledge check using society.
Can I do it
DC 25.
Can I do it with him as well, since I also was like...
Yeah. Yes. All right. Yes, you can.
Let me check and see if I have a feat, because I feel like I have a feat for that.
Alrighty. I don't think you need that feat, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, you're probably good, but let me... You said society?
Yes, society, please.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, you guys are
hell yeah.
Both of us locked the fucking right there.
Fucking.
And that's not even like a high roller for Kali either. That's like a 13.
Publicly closes at sunset. That's when all of the regular workers and everything goes home. There are still supposed to be people at the location, because there are people who handle like cleaning and security and all that sort of stuff. But like actual like business hours. But business hours ends at sunset, so that's when everybody goes home.
All right, so yeah, like evening, right?
Tim's gonna real quick question the other party. Does Sverga seem to have like a location that they stay in, or is it like a area basically, or is it like just kind of anywhere?
Well, she's mobile enough to like go places, and again, according to Boer, hags are still like living creatures, and they have to eat and sleep and shit and all that sort of stuff. But like where she does that at, we don't know. We do know though that she likes to play with people, and like I don't know if like she's doing it because she just gets like a sadistic thrill out of like screwing with people, or I don't know, maybe that is how she, by screwing with people. Hags are freaky like that, but she does it over there near Playhard Field. She seems to very specifically target just Imperial, and again, I don't know if there's like something specific about that, or if it's just plain old race.
Can I do a recall knowledge based on this information? Of like,
sure. What are you trying to recall?
Just like if there would be like all this information leads to maybe like me understanding like a potential motive or something. Like
sure. Do a society.
Alrighty.
Oh, damn.
Oh, nice.
I
Okay.
am a master
So,
in society.
you are a master of society, and Callie has had enough experiences and enough time to have picked up information to know that, there are actually creatures who feed off of other people's emotional states and things like that. There are things which cause terror because they eat terror. However, hags aren't one of those things. This hag is probably a type of hag which is sometimes known as a blood hag. So Sverga is a blood hag. And that means that
didn't
Sverga,
they mention the bodies were always, like, when the bodies were found, there was, like, a shocking lack of blood?
Sanguinated.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were crispified.
They were crispy.
And they were crispified. So blood hags, with that check, you would know that blood hags are living creatures. They do in fact need to eat, breathe, sleep, and shit. Otherwise, like a regular person are, because they're otherwise humanoid. Blood hags, however, have the ability to assume a sort of like will-o-wisp form, which is invisible in regular sunlight, but then is visible for the light that it gives off when it's dark. It can essentially fly into somebody and essentially just immediately kill them by slurping all of their blood and then just possessing the person. So it slurps their blood and then it wears their skin.
Literal skinwalker.
Michael Afton.
It's Michael Afton. It always comes back. But it is a hag. It does have some abilities, and it's got the kind of, for a people predator, it's got the kind of spells that you would expect. Like, it's got the ability to do charm. It's got the ability to put people to sleep. Shit like that. So and on top of everything else, and on top of everything else,
took the possession, and on top all the blood out of a child, and then started pretending to be the kid until it crispified it.
Yep, and it did this over and over again, and will continue to do that over and over again because it just feels like it.
I feel like Callie would relay all this information.
You would also know that the blood hag is specifically immune to bleeding effects, and it is resistant to fire, and it is weak against cold iron.
Callie got any cold iron on her?
Callie just read
some obviously, I got my cold iron shield.
You might want to put that away, Faye.
Oh, well, I'm not full Faye yet. I'm still classified trait-wise as Faye, but not fully yet. That's only after the Faye transcendence will I become weak to cold iron and stuff.
Resistant to fire.
Yeah, but in the meantime, Callie can hand that big ass car door of cold iron to Mr. Servos, and it can beat somebody.
Clang, clang, clang.
Yeah, that is true. I will probably do that. Yeah. Smack
but yeah, so that's what you're dealing with if you're dealing with Sverga, and that's assuming that you're also just dealing with just Sverga. Speaking of which, blood hags tend to keep actual will-o-wisps as pets.
Ooh.
Oh boy!
Do they use the will-o-wisps to crispify the bodies?
Yeah, that's part of it. They use the will-o-wisp to crispify the body.
Hey, we gotta hide evidence, burn the bodies.
And the will-o-wisps are essentially a sentient gas that can set itself on fire and doesn't care if it is on fire. So yeah, it's essentially a sentient fart that can float around and harm people. So yeah, that's what you're dealing with if you're dealing with the blood hag, which is what Sverg is. So that's what the B team essentially is going to go tackle. Is that aspect?
Will relay all this information to them.
Okay, so
I guess it's a good thing you did steal all those books.
Yeah, knowledge. Callie's more.
Turned out that was a good idea.
Turns out being really knowledgeable is a good thing.
So that being the case, I'm going to let's do a public roll here. So to add on to thingamajigs, let's see here. Because I'm still pretty sure Boer is the expert here. That doesn't feel very experty with that roll though.
Yeah.
let me check the others real quick to see if anybody can beat a 14.
Oh Jesus.
That's still pretty good for a 4 though.
Yeah, that is still pretty good actually.
That's the motto of this team. That's still pretty good for how low it is.
Yeah.
That's actually really high. That's actually really high for how.
Yeah, Callie rolls a 2. It's still like a 22 somehow. You know.
It's like that's pretty good for a 2.
Okay. Okay. It's not a 14, but it's not that too much dissimilar. Let's see if the other team can at least make a good showing for themselves here.
Come on.
Somebody roll high.
My boy Tommy, come on, give it to him.
Yo, somebody got to get lucky, you know.
15.
Number of high probability high statistics or whatever the fuck.
Okay, there we go.
My boy.
My son.
Tommy does in fact come through, and he says that given the information that you told to Boer and then Boer told to them, he's been thinking about it because he's been talking with a lot of the Imperial soldiers and whatnot, just relying on dude broness of hey, I'm a dude bro, you're a dude bro, let's talk about dude bro stuff. And he's heard Aj's name and has put a little bit of 2 and 2 together here, and he's pretty sure that Aj is a rust hag. Rust hags are, again, hags. They are magical old ladies, but a rust hag specifically has a very unique interaction, like a magical interaction, technology. They can destroy it with a touch.
Wait, what? It kind of cut out when you said the word.
They can destroy technology with a touch.
They can destroy most. They can destroy most technology with a touch, but they also have the ability to not only destroy it, but then make it work again.
Ain't that not great to hear, Tim and Mr. Service?
Yeah, that is not great. Also, the other thing about rust hags that makes them stand out amongst hags is they really, really like guns.
Tim looks at him
a lot.
Hell
just
yeah.
start shaking. Tim's like,
America. Yeah.
They are real. They are real big into the fucking gun scene. These hags are gun nuts. But they are, like other hags, weak against cold iron. So cold iron is still the thing that will just cut through all of the bullshit. He says he doesn't know this for certain, but he has heard that these kinds of hags, he's read some books, that these kinds of hags also have some unique interactions when it comes to various sky metals, and also they have they have a special kind of that allows them to zoom in on distant targets, which makes them freakishly accurate with gunshots at range.
Oh, that's great.
Well,
yeah.
Tim is
like...
so this hag is a sniper.
Oh, so
Oh.
you know, I mean, it's probably a bad thing considering me and Tim are gonna get into melee range. I don't want to be turned into rust. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I
probably
don't want
wouldn't
Mr. Service to be turned into rust correctly, is what I meant to say.
Yeah, that probably would not be good. So that you are aware of what you're dealing with here. Aj has a special ability which is literally just called Rusting Touch. If Aj touches or like makes a strike with her hand on any metal item that is being held or worn or whatnot, she utterly ignores its hardness and she just damages it directly.
Oh.
And any object that is damaged beyond half of its hit points becomes broken and unusable, except by Aj. Aj can pick it up and it works perfectly fine in her hands.
Well, maybe
Tim's like, this is the one we're fighting?
Yeah, that's the one you're fighting.
Listen, no.
Tim like looks up and goes, "Do you know anywhere where we can buy cold iron ammunition?"
Shoots them.
Actually, maybe it would be a good time for me to upgrade my scythe to have cold iron.
I feel like the moment everybody gets cold iron is the moment Callie becomes a full fae.
Well, I was gonna say Tim doesn't plan on turning his gun on Callie.
No, I know that. I'm just saying. It's like, it's like, I don't know. It's like Superman being on a party with people who have like spears made out of kryptonite.
Yeah, it's like we're never gonna hurt you, but the fact that it's there is stressing you out.
Yeah. So no, they don't know anywhere, especially here, that you could buy cold iron bullets. Now, if you really wanted to take the time, Oda points out that she doesn't know how fast your boat is, but you could always aim for Amherst and hit the portal, go over to Kinley and buy some there, and then come back to the portal. But if this thing ain't super fast, that's going to take you like a couple of days.
Yeah, that's going to put us a week behind.
Yeah,
they don't got fantasy Amazon.
Unfortunately not, and it would appear that we think that Sverga is at least aware that she's being watched. And I don't know what your interactions have been with Olgi and Aj, but you've obviously interacted with Olgi directly. So Olgi knows about you, and if you guys said that the last time you heard her, she mentioned talking to Aj, you can bet Aj is also aware of your presence.
Tim will take this moment to pipe up and go I don't know if you guys have been near Old Gate, but one of the buildings that Aj seems to run is stocked with other automatons, and they have this faceplate, and he points to his own faceplate. So he's like, they might not specifically know I'm here, but I also can't guarantee that I'm not being magically tracked, or my position might not already magically be known by them somehow. So
hey, look, Tim, Hag's got weird fucking magic powers, man. We don't know really what they're capable of. All of this information, is kind of hearsay and so I guess really the only thing that we can say to each other right now is good fucking luck, man.
Yeah.
Tim loads up his magazine and slaps it in the barricade buster and just goes, if I die, put
I'll
my core
rebuild
somewhere
you.
special.
I'll rebuild you
Rebuild me.
bigger. I'll make you a. I'll turn you into a mecha.
Tim like gets down on one knee and puts his hand on Callie's shoulder and goes, I would genuinely very appreciate that. Thank you.
Hopefully no one will.
I totes consent to being made into a Megazord.
Yes. Make me a Megazord. If I die, make me a Megazord.
Just like combines with Mr. Servos.
Okay. With our powers of friendship.
And this fucking mech I found.
And then
this
mech I found.
So
okay,
we're gonna die.
Otherwise,
we'll be fine.
Otherwise, we're all prepped.
I feel like the moment the hag gets pulled
I
out,
think
though,
so.
you
I
and
think
me,
we're all
Tim,
prepped.
we gotta run
June.
out of there.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt everybody. June is just going to like step over to Boer and here, I'll even do a thing, and just kind of like aside and be like, I did have one question though. If shoot, don't you hate whenever you have like the name and like it just like brain farts? Olgi, there we go. Yeah.
Just
if
do what I do and make
Olgi
up a
was
name.
If Olgi was a hag and she was suspicious of me enough to try and curse me or something, why would they just let me go?
I do not know, June, on why that would be the case. Hags are sometimes known to be, how do you say, what, chaotic. I mean, clearly, Olgi and this Aj have some sort of master plan, but why? I mean, it could be just simple hubris, like maybe Olgi just assumed that you weren't a threat enough to, actually do anything. Which that's kind of insulting, but like that may really work out in our favor here. That Olgi didn't put you down in that moment. Yes, that very much that she underestimated you.
Well, she just kind of sighs and she looks like genuinely like, I wouldn't say like sick, and like she kind of turns back to Torque and then looks back at Boer and says, well, I hope that's the case, and let's just hope that we can catch them off guard. And
we fought worse. Callie,
that is true. I think between a hag and a giant mummy cyclops, I think I'd still rather take the giant cyclops.
Yeah.
I would like to point out we didn't fight him, and he did say that there wasn't any reality where he lost a fight where we actually initiated attack with him. So,
but yeah, that's just the
Oda pipes up the, at some point after this is all done, we'll have to like trade war stories. Like you should really hear the one where we got into a fight with a pirate ship, and I don't mean like a crew of a pirate ship. I mean the pirate ship itself.
Huh.
And I'm not even being metaphorical about that. That pirate ship and
yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was really the only thing that June that June wanted to bring up, that the fact that like, Olgi was definitely suspicious of June. Maybe and like
at the same time
even like
she also maybe realized that it would be too suspicious of her to just kill you. I mean, like,
Possibly.
you did show up like the same day, like earlier, with like literally like a free, like a open merchant group. You know what I mean? If like suddenly some of the, say like members of that merchant group just went missing, they'd obviously bring up a stink about it, which would then mean more investigating. Would probably be brought up.
Now that I think about it, that does bring up a kind of an interesting point. Like, the whole reason that I was because I was following Sverga. And Sverga had, otherwise, the entire time that we have been here, has been in the Wolfreis district, and specifically around Playhard Field. That was the first time she'd gone into town. And she went straight to the Hall of Rest. Like she was summoned. The hags may have some surprises for us remaining.
I would be shocked.
All of us need to be careful.
I would be shocked if they.
All right, I want to do something here.
Bomb.
Let's see.
Gaunt.
Units at 25. Whatever. All right, yeah. So that's
Are you trying to deceive the party,
June's
or are you trying to deceive them?
Yes. So yeah.
All right. Well,
so I guess that's what's like the other party's perception DCs or something like that.
Let's see. Perception DCs here. Let's
or
see.
Like
Boer. Yeah. Perception DC 22. Tommy, perception DC 25. Oda, perception DC 22.
I just like
Saffron 23.
I just like to point out that Mr. Service has a perception DC of 26.
Okay.
Tim has 27.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay. So anyone that can meets or beats June's deception, she looks like she wants to say something, but she holds her tongue. Like something that is possibly important, but she goes back and like stands next to Torque, and she holds her hand.
Well, with all of this said and done, the other group of Pathfinders, they, again, there's a little bit of dickering of details, but as they finish up, Boer gets over back onto their food cart trike thing,
and fly like 100 feet
and causes the little like floaty seats to like float out around so that they can, for people to like sit on. The cauldron that's in the middle of it, as soon as Boer like touching the cauldron fills up with like a fluid that immediately goes into like a soft boil, and starts like spinning around like it's being stirred. And the other party members like start getting onto the floating seats and whatnot. And as they're coming across, like Tommy reaches out and puts his hand on like June's shoulder and like looks at her like, just like solidarity, kind of like look back and forth. And he's like, token regular human. It's the token regular human of our group to the token regular human of your group. Keep yourself safe out there, Miss Valencia. And then he gets onto his seat, and Boer unhooks, and they like push off from the boat, and Boer starts pedaling, and they off away from it. And after they're about like 30-40 feet away, there is a pop as the invisibility sphere cloaks them back up, and they cruise back down into town, leaving you guys floating about 100-ish feet off of the ground here on the outskirts of the city.
Callie says to the rest of the party, he's like, when do you think we'll be able to just cloak our ship like that? The entire ship, not just like a part of it. As like a...
Soon.
Hopefully, yeah. That's Tim. Tim like leans against one of the wood posts and goes, "I don't know, Miss Inventor. When do you think?"
Soon as I have a small fund of an island nation.
Working on it. Tim is gonna walk over.
You know how many mirrors that would take? like Torque just looks over at Callie and is like, do you know how many mirrors that would take to cover this whole thing?
It's a lot of mirrors. Or one big mirror.
one big...
I mean, I guess we could do one big mirror.
But then we'd have to fly at like 10,000 feet.
One big mirror, but fly really, really high.
We'd have to fly at like the same level a commercial fucking jet does, like to not be seen.
So yeah. Anyway, the other party has left off. You guys know what you're going to be doing. You know what time things are going to be. So, that being the case, the party, I'm going to say that you guys spend the rest of this day getting yourselves, mentally and physically prepared. If you're not at full hit points, you get your, healing back as you go into your rest for the next day, and you guys, get your things done. I will need, yet again, a fortitude save from June in order to resist the kicking and rolling around that Torque's doing.
Oh god, they're coming. Oh god, they're coming.
All right, fortitude save.
Fort save.
That's a 35.
Oh yeah.
June sleeps like a fucking rock.
Stone.
Dude, June has a clear conscience.
Just stone Luigi.
Tim runs Night Watch.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, Timothy.
Timothy.
As was the case the other night, yes, indeedy do. A sled with crates comes rolling in, same way that it did last time, about 3 in the morning.
Had a really funny thought in my head. A sled being pulled by a troop of of Dr. Tremors.
That would be the weirdest Iditarod ever.
It'd be a lot of them to pull a cart.
Yeah,
well, if they're the full size ones, actually, because Dark Tremors.
If it's the full size, you only need like 1 or 2 of them, honestly.
Yeah,
it's like the familiar one. You need probably 20 of them.
It would be like having 50 Chihuahuas connected to a wagon.
When the sled goes past, Tim is going to write on a note, going out to check something. If I'm not back by morning, head to Old Gate, and is going to put it on his door. It's going to open his window, turn on his flying ability, close his window, and fly after the sled.
Okay. How does your flying ability actually work?
So,
if you could post the feat or ability or whatever it is, chat.
I got you.
Look at the wording.
This isn't just for anybody asking. This is not me going on my own. This is any investigation during nighttime. I plan on coming back before I do anything. I'm basically just scouting.
Okay. You redirect energy from your core. The ports on the back. Okay, so you really are Iron Manning.
That's what I'm saying. He has. I said it. It's like the V1 wings that pop out.
I have to ask though. Does this make a lot of fucking noise? I mean, he is Iron Manning.
Guess that's up to the GM.
He is Iron Manning. So, okay. So Tim, are you attempting to be quiet?
What I'm attempting to do is to make this as quiet and quick as possible. I just want to get eyes on their night activities as best I can before we all do it one night.
Gotcha. I understand. Then I'm going to say that when you take off, there is actually a considerable amount of noise. But once you're up in the air, you're basically so far that it's not really going to matter.
Yeah.
So as far as that is concerned, that's not a big deal. But for those of you who are there at the Gooseberry Fool, getting your rest, like a couple of you like get that like loud noise, but it's gone almost immediately. You're like, oh, okay. Guess it was nothing.
What was that?
So, yeah, everyone's just immediately like, Mimi's back down.
I imagine Callie doesn't even wake up. She just starts dreaming about rocket boosters on Mr. Cerberus for some reason.
Now Tim can only maintain for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
and so once he feels that 5 minutes come up, he's gonna try and like grace towards the ground as best he can.
It's that scene in Iron Man 1 when he freezes up and he starts falling back to Earth.
And you fly at the same rate that you walk. So you motor. Let's move back over to the big map quick.
Lay big.
All right. So back to the big map.
Tim has a movement speed of 25, and if he dashes for 3 rounds, so that's 25 to 75 feet.
Yeah. So he can do 75 in a round. So that's a good little quip. But you're here at the Gooseberry. So let's pull out the measurement here. And I want to no snap. All right. So you're here at the Gooseberry. This is in meters.
What the fuck?
So well, you are going to have to go, roughly speaking, about 200 meters. So we're talking like 600 feet for you to go. So you don't really get a lot of time to really see what's going on, but you do get over there. So since you can get over there and you can get back, please make for me, Tim, a perception check.
Okay.
Nice.
Ooh,
all right,
that's a good roll.
That is a good roll. Okay.
I want to roll higher, but I'm not going to risk it.
Yeah, no.
So
I'll stick with that.
The Old Gate area is, like quiet as a grave. There is a couple of automatons that you do see moving about that seem to be going about completely regular, normal business. Nothing particularly like freaky about that. But when you do get over to the processing plant area, you do see that there are still lights on, even at this extremely late / extremely early hour. And you do see more automatons, but there are occasionally just regular old human people moving around. You do very clearly see like actual literal like janitors who are there like, cleaning up and taking care of that sort of stuff, taking out trash, all that sort of like completely normal business shit. But there is somebody who is at the receiving side of things, who is taking in this cart this sled, excuse me, that's come in, and is just out come automatons to unload the crate, just like y'all saw before, bring it back in. But this time there's hustle to it. There's like, like we got to make this fast, kind of like, hey, do it quickly. They are also very clearly trying to be stealthy, but they're trying to be stealthy versus people at street level, not somebody who's like flying across like a jet. Mm-hmm. So they're not looking in your direction or anything like that doing this. But you do see that there are clearly people there. There is activity going on even that late, and they are receiving these goods completely outside of even vague business hours. You do also notice with that 33, you do also notice that on the roof of one of the buildings that is adjacent to the processing plant, you do see a small, dark, like 4-legged creature moving along. That also seems to be keeping an eye on the building.
Oh, it's that cat in quotation
marks. Yeah, it does from a distance look feline.
Okay.
Gotta hide Dr. Tremors.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to get any closer to the. I don't want to get any closer to the building because I have a feeling that they've got vibes on me or something. Can I? Can I send? Can I do some kind of check on the cat to see if it's like? I don't know. I not connect. I don't know if I could do that with. Just because I don't. I want to send Brick down to like. I guess menace the cat to keep it from going anywhere, so I can like investigate it. But I don't want to alert.
It might be you just summon Brick and he halo.
I was like, I could do that, but the last thing I want to do is like fucking alert anybody in this area to my presence.
I mean, if you drop Brick, then that's going to alert people.
Well, Brick can fly.
Yes, I
feel like that would work.
Holy shit, a flying dog!
He's still halo jumping. Yeah, it's like
that's true.
Sir,
okay,
Chief, what are you doing?
Okay.
You know what? Technically, yeah. You could have Brick fly down there.
I have something better.
Menace the cat or whatever. But you are literally running a couple of minutes worth of activity time that you can do this in, Tim. Yep. So figure out what you want to do.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna land as me, like Tim, landing on the roof that the cat is on, and is just going to like hold his hand, like hold my hand out, like just like try and call it over.
You're gonna the cat?
Yes, like diplomacy check something just to like call it over, and if it reacts negatively or whatever, I'm gonna bail.
Okay. All right. Fine. Okay.
And then
Tim,
the cat tells its master we saw a really weird automaton on the roof or something that flew in.
It shows up and it's like they find out.
Masquerade scarf. I'll turn on my masquerade scarf and just look like random background character number 75.
Okay. Random background.
That's a little
random
bit
background
better.
human.
Because then at least they don't know that Tim's there. They're just like, who is this weird flying person?
Who's this weird grandma that just flew?
Okay, so Tim uses the masquerade scarf.
Oh no.
Makes a brief landing on this adjacent roof to the cat. And I'm going to all right, Tim, make a diplomacy check.
Tim has really good diplomacy.
Now that you said that,
famous last words.
Yeah. That's not good. Not.
I'm gonna
not terrible. Not terrible.
The hero point.
Okay.
Alrighty. It's too better.
Slightly less
better,
terrible.
Better. Not
slightly less
point.
shit.
Slightly less bad. Okay, so you land and the cat. The cat turns and looks at you. And when it does, first and foremost, you notice that while it does very much cat, that when it turns and it looks at you, a third eye opens in the middle of its forehead.
Oh.
Okay.
It blinks at you in just clear surprise, like you're there, stuff, and it tilts its head and like wiggles its ears, like as it's trying to like figure out what the fuck. There's a person over here, and then it like stands up on because it's sitting there, but then like it moves so that it is standing on four legs like a cat, like a house cat. I want to make that clear. You're looking at a house cat that has three eyes.
Okay.
And it trots through the snow over to where Tim is at. And it is very clearly looking Tim up and down. Like it's not acting like an animal. Like it very much looks like an animal. It moves like an animal. It's not acting like an animal. It looks Tim up and down, with an intelligence that belies its otherwise feline form. It looks Tim up and down, and then like you see like its tail comes over and it makes like in the common alphabet, it just makes like a question mark in the snow.
Oh.
I kind of figured it was intelligent.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was smart. It's a familiar. Fuck.
He's in your general direction.
I mean,
God, I'm trying not to make stupid decisions. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is stupid decisions are often fun.
Yeah, it's not fun when everyone yells at you because you made a stupid decision, Fuzzy.
Well, I mean that is also true. However, right now, Tim, you are currently disguised. You are standing on the second-story roof of a building at 3 a.m. in complete darkness, talking to an alien cat that just wrote a question mark in the snow because it wants to know what the fuck is up with you.
Well, I mean, at least we could say it was confused,
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna relay this information, and it's gonna the master's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
I will admit the disguise is a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. I'll. Okay. Tim will ask, "Where'd you come from, strange little buddy?"
He's gonna try real hard not to sound robotic.
Yeah, Tim is putting on his best human voice.
The cat uses its tail again to write in the snow, and it draws it draws a symbol that Tim has seen before.
Oh Jesus!
Tim has seen this. Tim has seen this symbol on a stolen signet ring that was recently near him, but is currently back at the workshop.
Well, I guess it was a good thing we didn't go to the Jarl.
That is true. Wait, but if the cat is here, that means the Jarl knows. No, that doesn't necessarily mean the Jarl knows. The Jarl might be suspecting this specific person, like of being the ones who stole the ring.
And it should be noted that the cat, which you guys saw there before, was keeping an eye on this building or this general area, but doing it from a subtle position, and it's still doing that now from up here on the roof. Guys, the only way anybody would have seen the cat would be if they were flying.
Guys, I have a devious idea.
This cat,
a devious and maybe slightly morally questionable idea now that this has been pointed out to us.
Tim just turns his head and goes, "Yo, wait, are you from the Jarl?"
The cat nods.
What is the Jarl doing looking at the... Tim will say like the casual term for what this group is. It's like, huh, why is the Jarl?
Why is the Jarl watching this? The cat has no comment on that.
I would figure it probably wouldn't have any opinions on that, considering it's a familiar.
But it is a familiar. It does not have the ability to speak, but it is intelligent.
I'm gonna speak this part out of character because I just want to. This might go really bad, and I don't want it to go really bad. Mm-hmm. But basically, my thought process was when Tim disguises, Brick disguises. Correct?
That is generally the way that works. Yes.
My God.
Okay. So my thought was if Tim summons Brick to jump up onto the roof and then start, well, no, barking would call the people who are over the... Because basically I wanted to gain the cat's trust by it being like, oh, random dog comes on the roof and starts barking at the cat, and then Tim the human saves the cat. But
are you...
no, that's why
I would also point out... I would also point out, Danger, that you're dealing not an animal here, not an animal at all.
Yeah.
Smart enough.
So, while it may look like an animal, it's not. It is not an animal. It will not react.
I will, out of character, point this out. It did was the only creature that managed to pick up that Dr. Tremors was not a rat when it was investigating. It was the only one that did that. Meaning, if you were to try to deceive this thing, it might see through it pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also don't know what the invested master servant abilities that it has that are currently active.
It could have a lot, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of master and servant abilities could be going on
that are quite OP, actually. You know,
Tim thinks better of it and just goes like, "Huh, well,
you know what would have been even crazier is if he disguised as Aj and then told the cat to fuck off."
Well, we don't.
Yeah, but we don't know what she looks like. So
we don't know what Aj looks like.
Yeah. That's why it's not possible.
Also, the scarf won't let me do that. I can only become background characters.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Tim will just like look around, look at the thing one last time.
Now you've mentioned this, I have a crazy plan.
And goes, well, I guess I'll leave you to whatever you're doing for the yard. My name's Rich. Why am I talking to a cat like it can understand me?
Yeah.
It blinks its third eye at you.
What?
Yeah.
I guess that might. I'm saying this.
Why are you talking to this cat, man?
I'm saying this pretending to be like a human that doesn't understand, just so the cat like really integrates that.
Then I will need you to actually lie to this cat. So you will need to make a deception check. Okay.
I don't know if that's good enough, man. I don't think that is.
You lie to the cat that you don't know what the fuck is going on, and then I'm assuming take off before your 5 minutes of flight runs out.
Yeah, just leave.
Oh my god.
Just be like, well, bye. And then it's just gonna gonna like climb down the side of the building, pretending like he's a human getting down, and then it's just gonna peel off.
I will say, guys, this is crazy, but I might have a way to recover this craziness. Honestly,
probably fine.
We're probably fine.
Okay. So,
worst case scenario, they don't know me.
So with this little detour, eating up more time than you were anticipating, your extra flight gas is like sputtering out as you're coming back into the Gooseberry Pool for a landing, and so there's a little bit of a stumble as you come down, and you crawl back in through the window of your.
Yeah. Just,
oh my man.
So you crawl back into the window of your room, close the window, and the rest of the night goes through without anyone's other hitch. So, the party wakes up the next morning.
Tim takes the note down.
Does their daily preparations.
I make more soup and everything.
And
coffee.
Torque's gonna need that coffee. Torque's gonna need the coffee.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna.
Blood Eye coffee.
Just do the fort save. I can't fail it, so there you go.
What benefits does the Blood Eye coffee give you again? I'm sorry.
It gives you like +1s to fatigue's status effects and whatnot.
Yeah, it literally counteracts fatigue.
Well, I don't think we necessarily need it, right? Because like Torque is the only one that's affected by the AoE.
Torque is the only one. Torque's the only one that's affected. So she's the only one who's actually fatigued at this.
I mean, that's true, but it's still nice to have.
Yeah, it's like you drink a pot of coffee in the morning, even if you don't need it.
Yeah, so technically speaking, everybody gets coffee, but like she's the one who's taking like the shots.
His 3 a.m. escapades.
I think after a little while of everybody waking up, Tim basically just explains that he went like late last night. I went and did a little additional like late night scouting.
Raises her eyebrow really like high at this, and then when she mentions like I went on a scouting thing, she's like, and did what exactly?
Well, essentially, I just got the same information that we got from being there, except they were a little more rushed with whatever they were trying to get inside the building. During the day, I got it at night, and there was a cat. The cat that you were mentioning actually was on the roof. After thinking about it for a little while, I went down there.
You didn't talk to it, did you?
Yeah, I went disguised, but I did talk to it.
Oh.
I didn't mention anybody of us. I didn't mention our group. There was no signet on me that tied us back to them. I just
And you asked it what exactly?
I essentially asked, I guess I asked who it was and where, or I didn't ask who it was. I was just curious, or acted curious, and then I asked where it came from, and it signed the signet on the ring.
Oh, good lord! Callie says while rubbing her helmet. Oh.
June just kind of narrows her eyes at Tim and just says,
"Guys,
and you made sure you weren't followed after doing all this, right? Right?"
Tim blanches. Well, I was flying, so I doubt they would be able to follow me from the ground. If something was following me from the ground,
right?
She just
it was a familiar though, right?
I think it looked. I mean, it was a house cat with 3 eyes.
Tim. Tim, you. Oh, Callie says, you do know one of the master abilities for familiar is that they gain a fly speed, right?
Can I do a memory check if it stayed on the roof? I didn't ask because Danger doesn't know that that's a thing.
No,
but,
you didn't. So no, you don't.
Okay. Well,
Callie says while she's petting Dr. Tremors.
Oh God. So yeah.
Callie
that
then kind of
coughs
and is okay, well, if it is the Jarl, I have an idea as to maybe why they are investigating them, but at the same time another idea as to how we could potentially recover this situation. And it might
involve my fucking god, and
it might involve
realized that my microphone isn't on.
Oh,
it
no.
did that stupid fucking thing again where it's device not connected, not available. Oh my god. Okay, hey Sen, can you hear me now? Oh god, why does it keep disconnecting?
That is really annoying and unfortunate.
You are having that you do have that backup recording, right, Syrup?
Yeah, don't
worry. Are you still doing that? Okay.
I got the recording. Yeah, don't worry.
Oh god, why does my microphone keep disconnecting? Also, yes, we have an audience member, by the way, guys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hello.
But yeah, Callie continues. She's I have a theory as to maybe why they're being investigated. It might have something to do with that stolen signet ring. Callie kind of side eyes Torque, and then says, if we're gonna go and attack them, I have maybe a bit of morally dubious idea of planting the ring in the building, potentially, or at least maybe stating,
pointedly not looking at Callie,
or maybe potentially doing what we did in what was the place called, the other one? Oakham, where we place the blame of the stolen ring on Aj or something.
Aj.
Well, if we're going to do that, Torque picks up from her double shot of espresso blood. She picks up and is well, if we're going to do that, you'd have to open the door to go from the workshop.
Oh yeah.
But if we go over to there, I can plant it. Easy peasy.
That is true.
Are you okay? Out of character. Are you yawning, Fuzzy, or is that like in character yawning?
Okay. That's Torque in character yawning.
June is going to just kind of like rub her back and just be like, "Are you okay?"
I'm still really sleepy. I don't know what's going on, but like the bed that they've got here, like it just gets harder and lumpier every night.
Can Tim do a detect magic check on Torque?
I mean, yeah, sure.
Just like if there's any, or like maybe Torque's dead, but like maybe Torque isn't sleeping.
Well,
I mean,
that's kind of like, yeah, they're not resting.
I mean,
I mean, like
what's going on.
Yeah, like potentially their mind or their body or something like that is being controlled in the city, like due to something in the city.
So you're looking for a magical signature that doesn't normally come from Torque.
Yes.
Okay. Then yeah, sure. And like she's not even gonna like bother to stop you from like doing detect magic at her. When you do detect magic and you automatically ignore the magic sources that you're aware of, there is the one that you are aware of, the low level constant curse effect that is going on. But there is also some other lingering magic that doesn't come from Torque, but is just like a slight residue around face and head.
Witches are all about curses, and if three witches get together, who's to say that they can't make a curse big enough to cover an entire city?
That was kind of what I was figuring. Yeah.
There's always that going.
It's just weird nobody's noticed it yet, especially the Earl.
Actually, there's hold on.
Oh gosh.
I gotta whisper something to Tim real quick.
Oh goodness.
Shit.
It's about the kitty, isn't it?
Sweet kitty warm. Yep, sorry.
I'm thinking.
What's new, pussycat?
Whoa.
Y'all old.
Okay. How dare
I'm just
you?
I know that song too.
My man,
also,
that's timeless, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's art.
Yeah, that's fine.
That is art.
Yeah, I agree.
Art
it's a really good song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, at least
because now I'm like, is Torque unintentionally a double agent?
That is actually. That would be
pretty
awful,
suck.
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Oh no. Oh.
Tim immediately like whips to look at June, and like perception check.
I do find how funny this whiplash is from Tim going to
perception at me or perception.
Just perception on you.
Okay.
I do find it funny.
Well, there she is. There's June.
This whiplash of like Tim going from talking to this familiar at 3 a.m.
That's a 32. Do I need like a deception DC or something?
No, you don't need you're not doing anything here.
Okay.
Tim is definitely focusing on you, but he's not really focusing on you. Like he's focusing very much on the spot that you currently occupy, but not you personally. Tim, the little bit of magical residue that's going on around Torque's head is completely different from the magic that is coming out of June's chest.
Oh.
My chest?
What?
Huh?
Tim's hand like hovers for a moment like over his firearm, and it's just like he didn't get anything off of Seamus or Callie.
No.
Okay.
All the rest of you clean.
Oh.
fucking called it. I called it. I was like, why would they just let me go? It's like, sorry.
Wait, if this is the
you do have that. No, we can't, because
the scroll of remove curse.
We have to kill these witches quickly.
That is the truth of it.
Tim is like fully, like the jovial like laugh from his following is fucking gone. It's just business now. He's full.
June, I need you to make a will. I need you to make a will, please.
Huh?
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
Tim's eyes glow red. Tim's ready to fucking go.
God.
Battle ready.
Okay, that's a hero point. Hero point. I don't care.
Oh,
you might want to use.
I still have a rewind.
Tim's like, you better use it.
That's a 23.
And that's not enough. But hey, that keeps you from critically failing.
Oh,
okay.
Oh gosh.
No. Wait. Hold on.
June, would you like me to rewind?
Oh no.
You get a +1 to your roll.
Oh gosh. I don't like.
No. It's fine. Let's just see where this goes.
All right. So Tim does the detect magic. Notices some magical residue on Torque. It is not currently active. It just simply happened to her at some point recently, within the last 12 hours. Notices, because June is standing right there with Torque, magic coming out of June. Focuses on it. Is like, that's not supposed to be there. Quick scans everybody else. That's not supposed to be there. Looks back at June and is like saying something about it, and June drops to the floor, just bonelessly, unconscious.
The shit.
Just Family Guy death poses.
Yeah, just Family Guy death poses in the middle of
Tim, like
during breakfast, and everybody just like comes to a halt and looks over at her. Torque immediately like whips around and like calls out to June and like reaches down to like grab her and starts like shaking her
like the moment that Torque goes to like reach for June, Tim like stop.
But
we don't
leave it like that.
We won't, but I can't be sure that you're not the one causing this. And Tim is going to like pick June up and is like, we got to find the nearest
Tim
Dawn Castle.
Tim, you hear the clicking of a firing mechanism. Put her down.
Tim's gonna like open stance. You wouldn't fucking dare.
Out comes her gun. Put her down.
If you cared about her, then you wouldn't do this.
I do care about her. How do I know that you're not the one who's doing something?
I'm not the one at question right now.
All right, while this is going on, I'm gonna.
How are you not the one at question?
Mexicans.
You're the one. You're the one who messed with a weird familiar that we don't know who it's connected to.
This coming from the same person that stole directly from the Jarl and has been having strange instances for the past how many days we've been here.
I've just been sleeping badly.
Callie raises her hand. I just want to point something out here. What if it's like neither of those things? I just I just want to point out. What if it's not Torque, and what if it's like not the Jarl? Or
I mean, that's entirely possible. But yeah. So Swag, who are you attempting to demoralize?
Both of them.
Oh god.
Both of them. All right.
Just knocking them both out. All right. He's like, quick, smoke bomb.
All right then.
I think it says a target. I don't know.
You need to choose. You need to choose a specific person, unless you haven't.
He suddenly does that thing from The Hobbit or like the Lord of the Rings, where like Gandalf gets really tall and big and scary. Bilbo Baggins, I'm not trying to steal from you.
Can I do a demoralize on both on Tim and then do another demoralize on Torque?
Yeah, you because you can just keep doing this. So yeah, target one and then target the.
Right.
So you want to start with Tim?
Yeah, we'll start with Tim.
This is an emotion effect, correct?
This is an emotion effect. It's also auditory if anything comes up from that. It also counts as mental and fear if there's anything that you have that deals with that. Otherwise, what is your will DC?
It's 15 plus 10, so that's 25.
Okay, so 25 for Swag's intimidation check.
I also have stubborn.
Oh gosh.
Oh. Boom. Okay. We don't critically fail.
Oh, your proficiency rank for will saves goes up to expert. Hold on, I might need to change that then.
Do make sure that it is set to expert. Okay. All right. So that intimidation succeeds.
Oh gosh.
Okay. So now you need 1 versus Torque. The DC for Torque is a 23.
I'm gonna hero point that because I have plenty of hero points to burn. There we go.
Oh jeez.
I literally just appear right between the two, and I tell them with fireballs in my hands, stand down.
Yeah.
Tim's legs full lock, and he will not move because you have told him not to move, but he won't put her down.
But Seamus, like, you were there. Oh God, you didn't see it. You didn't see it, did you?
There's too many.
In the basement.
There are too many. There's too many questions that we have more of answers. Pointy guns. Too many factors that we have that were not solved. Fighting amongst ourselves isn't going to do a damn thing. You both know that.
That is true.
What did you see in the...
You're right. Torque lowers the gun, puts the safety back on it, looks around briefly at the rest of the the regular people that are like in here, who are all just like, duck down the tables. Rusi who has already like whipped out sword and shield, like he's ready to throw down. And like she looks back at the rest of the party and all that, and she puts her gun on the table and pushes it away from herself so that she's not even touching it. She's like, okay. You're right, Seamus. We have too many questions. Okay? I am just trying to help June. And the other day, when we were in that basement, you were around the corner, so you didn't see it. But June was engaged, like, up close and personal with those zombies, those Druger. And Tim opened fire, like, right at her. I mean, clearly he didn't hit her, he hit them, but, like, just disregarded her safety in that moment. And now here he is, after having admitted to us that he had a weird encounter with a familiar that we do not know exactly who it belongs to or what powers might be involved with it. And he's like, I sense foreign magic. And then suddenly June just drops to the floor unconscious, and he's immediately picking her up and walking out the door. I know that we're on the same team.
I have to ask here, Tim, what was your goal in picking her up? Were you like just gonna like run away with her?
Tim places June on the ground carefully, and he goes, I was planning to run as quick as I could to the Dawn Castle because they seem to be the only group that we have a strong feeling that isn't connected to any of the witches, plus it's a healing church from my knowledge.
Callie then adds like, I'm gonna add my 2 cents here. I don't necessarily think any of that necessarily, means that Tim was in doing this against the better wishes of the party. I would just be honest. He's not the brightest I mean, like, like 30 minutes ago he was telling us about how he didn't know familiars could fly. So, not no offense against you, Tim, but I'm saying you're that just means your intentions are mostly pure and that they're not like they're not having any evil, deceptive intentions behind them.
While also bouncing off like Callie's like, oh, Tim's not the brightest, but I will say, however, your train of thought of going to the church for healing properties, it would have been better if you communicated that with us, that you're going to take her there because they have healing properties, instead of like, I don't know, me possibly blowing this place to kingdom fucking come. If, y'all didn't put your guns away.
I apologize.
Okay.
I
also apologize. I'm sorry. I just, and like I said, I have not been sleeping.
Can I inspect?
A couple of days, so I'm a little on edge. I apologize for that. Yes, you may.
Yeah, how am I doing?
Callie's just like, with all that, because she's still eating her soup. I imagine this whole time she's just been like,
really in front of my salad.
It's like, guys, I made this really good soup. What the fuck? Why are we all killing each other now? And then Callie just like puts the soup down and is like,
I do need to check while you're doing that investigation. I need to look up a spell real quick. So just give me a minute.
I cast no bones. All cartilage.
Oh, joke's on you! I'm a fish. I might be all cartilage anyway.
Rubber bones.
Who would have thought the shark girl was made out of cartilage?
I cast low phone battery. Okay. All right. So there's that. There's been enough time for this to happen. Okay.
Just suddenly explode.
So then,
I think at that.
I need
point,
June
fire
to make another will save.
Okay.
Don't worry, June. You're fine.
That's a 32.
Yeah, that's pretty fine.
Okay. That is very fine. That is very fine. That is a success. Well, June, you're having very unpleasant nightmares.
Oh
no.
Oh, damn. And that was the saving.
That is a success, as June has been targeted by quite literally the 4th level nightmare spell.
Oh.
Fuck.
You die in the dream, you die in real life.
Oh, dang.
I think that might actually be how the spell works.
Oh,
well,
shit!
Just die.
With a failure, June would have been fatigued, and if June failed critically, then June would have been fatigued and drained.
How ironic it was.
Fatigued and drained, and
we don't need coffee. Like 5 minutes before that happened. Top 10 things that didn't age well.
Okay, so, but thankfully, June. Oh, also, you know what the fucking funniest thing is about the nightmare spell?
What?
Under range, can you guess what range it has?
Infinite.
Not infinite. It does have a limitation.
Just within range, I would imagine.
10 miles?
It's got to be like it's got to be something huge.
What?
So anywhere on the planet, somebody can hit you with
what?
Well,
planetary.
I'm across
and the only requirements are that you know the creature's name.
Oh damn! You should have said like some fake ass name or something.
So, yeah, June, you are suffering terrible nightmares. Like, you are having flashbacks to the very brief time period when you were very young. that you spent in the trenches of the Secession War. There are explosions going on around you, people dying. It is the horrors of war, ramped up to 10. It is bad. Because even with the saving throw, with the success, you still suffer the nightmares, although you don't wake up fatigued. But you also suffer the unpleasant memories that it causes. There is nothing that stops that part. So, yeah.
Tim essentially just starts apologizing for about what happened in the basement to Torque. My trigger discipline is pretty good, but my confidence in my ability to hit things is also very high, and I apologize that it seemed as dangerous as it was that I was firing towards her. I very rarely miss, but obviously
I understand that. I understand that, Tim. You are, I admit, probably one of the best sharpshooters I have ever met. But still, it was dangerous, and I would appreciate it if you try not to shoot at the person that I love, even if you're fairly confident that you're not going to hit them. I don't think that's too much to add. You will need to make a medicine check.
Medicine? Alright.
Can I get
point time?
Tim is
rewind time.
June is unconscious.
Is rewind
June is unconscious. So rewind time.
20.
It's
a 20.
Yeah, it's a 20.
Okay. So Callie knows that June is she is magically unconscious. She's basically in a coma right now. But it's not going to last. This is not a permanent thing. Right, it's not going to last. In an hour, she's going to wake up plain normal, and she's going to wake up and be okay.
All right. Well, Callie's like, well, good news and bad news. Which ones do you want to hear first?
The good news, please.
It's not gonna last. She'll be awake in an hour.
Okay. What's the bad news?
Whoever did this, could literally be anywhere on planet Earth.
What's an Earth? What's an Earth?
What's a planet?
You mean Halfus?
Yeah, it could be anywhere on Halfus. But I think we know.
Fuck. Oh shit.
What?
What about June's connection with Umber? Do you think Umber felt this? Do you think Umber knows?
Well,
do you think Umber's coming to kill us?
Well, I hope not that.
Well, Callie chimes in like, well, we wouldn't know one way or the other, would we? Because she's our connection. She's our messenger, our communicator.
Yeah, Umber talks out of character. Umber talks to June through dreams, right?
Yes, that is correct.
And, well, we don't know as characters, but you didn't describe Umber in any of those dreams, so did Umber do this?
Would Umber be capable of doing this? Yes, Umber would be capable of doing this.
Would she want to do this?
As far as you guys are aware? No.
No. Yeah, no.
Out of character question, is there a way to enter the dream world of other players?
Yes, there is.
Oh shit, we're gonna be Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the dream world here.
That would actually be kind of fucking sick, I would be honest.
I'll go ahead and let you guys know that when Torque levels up next time, she will totally be able to do that.
Oh, that'd be cool as fuck, actually.
So she would be able to insert her
insert herself and the party in dreams.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street. We're fighting the
Nightmare on Elm Street is go. Nightmare on Elm Street is go. Unless the party does something else.
This, it's probably gonna happen. Now we're all gonna have a connected dream world experience or something. We're gonna go to somewhere, and we're all gonna be fighting in dreamland or something.
Oh, Coca-Cola now that
make sure it goes down the right tube. But now that oh geez. Now that has been said and screamed out, unless the party does something specifically, an hour later, June does wake up.
Do you think we should still take June to the Dawn Castle just to see if there's anything they can do to ward her from this?
Well, I don't think so. I don't know if there's anything they could theoretically do.
Just a quick question: did you guys just leave me on the floor for an hour, or did you guys?
No, Tim would have put June on a couch chair type thing, and if he couldn't find one, he'd just take you back up to the bed.
Yeah, just take June back to her room and put her back in the bed.
Yeah.
How dare you insinuate
that's
Callie would expect June on the floor?
Yeah, Torque would have put her foot down and demanded it at least.
Okay.
And then she otherwise is sit with June until June actually wakes up. So since June's immediate health does not seem to be in danger, she's going to sit with that. However, she does pass Tim her coat pistol and her ammo, which she does not carry much. It's just 10 pieces of standard firearm ammo. But she does pass that to Tim. So just on the in case she doesn't have a gun to pull.
All right.
I appreciate that.
So is the rest of the party also kind of sitting around the room, or are they doing their thing?
Full hospital setup. We're all sitting around sad.
Yeah, Rusi posts himself up outside of the room at the door, guard style. But yeah, so.
All right.
An hour later, and it feels, like you have no idea, June, how long, this has been going on. But you wake up, and as far as the light is letting you know, it looks like hardly any time has passed whatsoever. So you're in bed in your room, and everyone is just sitting there around you, looking at you.
And can I? We'll say that June, she shoots up straight out of bed, and she gasps. She is sweating bullets, and her first instinct is to immediately try to leap out of the bed.
Hey! Whoa! Calm down! It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
We're good.
It's okay, June. It's okay. You got hit with some magic shit.
That's
true.
Dream brain stuff.
Dream magics.
Are you okay? How are you feeling?
She's just kind of she is staring at everyone bug-eyed, just in shock, kind of trying to catch her breath. The more that Torque talks to her, the slowly she kind of lowers back to reality, and she hugs Torque, full on buries her face in Torque's poofy hair, and hugs her really tight.
Okay, I'm sorry, but Dr. Trevor's the amphibious deluder of annihilation, the first fuck.
The first fuck. Torque, holds June for as long as she needs and is holding her back. And Torque is kind of whispering in orcish that like she's sorry, she doesn't know what happened, she that she's not going to let anything like that happen, again if she can. All these little platitudes that like it's okay, I've got you, we're good. That sort of stuff. And I would like to point out to the party that it is not even 9 a.m. yet. That this shit has gone on. Like you guys
long
just
day,
finished
bro.
breakfast.
Tim,
June,
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh.
Well,
June is going to pull herself away from Torque, and the party can see that she is, like, tears are streaming down her face. She just looks around, flabbergasted at the rest of the party, and just asks, "What happened?"
Well, you fell down. Tim, like, picked you up, and then was like, looked like he was about to run out of the room, and then Torque pulled a gun on him, and then my dad, like, came in and was like, bonk, stop doing that, bonk, stop doing that, and then we kind of talked it out first before I inspected you, found out that you were induced into some kind of nightmarish state by magic.
We as we were getting ready, like Callie is talking about, as we were getting ready to go this morning, because Torque has been struggling so much with sleeping, I thought maybe something about, Torque's sleep pattern, maybe that's connected to something magically. And so I just did a quick pulse to check about any magic, and then when I saw that they had a little bit, and like Tim like gestured towards Torque, you had a little bit towards your like head area, and when I did that, I noticed that there was some coming directly from your chest, and it seems like the moment that I noticed that, you dropped. I don't know if my recognition of it might have caused some sort of magical reaction or if this was going to happen anyway, but something connected to the curse is definitely affecting everybody, it seems, but it seems like you two very specifically.
She puts a hand over her chest and, like, looks down and looks back up and...
What did you experience exactly? I know you were in a dreamlike state, but it didn't seem anything positive, Callie states.
She just stares out the window.
That bad, huh?
I think we can't get rid of these witches fast enough, and I think...
Yeah, I think we need to get rid of their plague. Callie says
they're the ones that did this.
Callie says still munching on some of her cold soup.
The effect that happened to you is something that could have come from anywhere in the world, but the fact that it happened, Tim like looks down a little solemnly. The fact that it happened the day after we figured out that it was 3 hags and that I investigated the forge and spoke to the cat. I can't say for certain that that's what it was, but I also can't deny all of the coincidences that would need to happen for that to be the case.
Seamus pops up and it says, to keep it simple, we have more questions than we do answers, but the only lead that we have is indeed the 3 hags that we clearly need to take care of, he says as he brandishes his scythe. And the sooner we take care of them, the better.
Yeah.
The funner.
June just stares down at her lap and she grips the sheet and she says, "I knew it. They let me go. They did this."
Yeah.
Does this mean that Olgi may have moved up on priority? Not to say that
Tim,
we shouldn't. Yeah.
When we get over to the halls of rest after we've taken care of Haj, and we get over there to the halls of rest where Olgi's at, I would appreciate it if you would pass me back my gun, because I know where I want to put all 10 of those.
Gladly. Might be a couple extra from my end.
I would gladly accept them.
June.
Let's go kill some old bitches. Let's go. Fucking.
June.
Well,
June breaks down into tears again, and she hugs Torque.
Torque hugs her back and is not in the least bit shy, like, making sure that June is aware of, like, just how much she cares for her. And as beautiful a sentiment as that is, this honestly would also be a good point to stop, as we are, it's just at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We usually run till about 10. So
this was a great ass session.
This was an excellent session.
I just thought of something even more like fucked up. If hags do in fact feed off of the emotions, like some hags do in fact feed off the emotions of other people, I just thought, like, that could easily be like what the curse is doing for the entire town. It's just feeding off of everybody.
And then that would explain Torque's, like, out of character. That would explain Torque's sudden increase in emotional responses to things like, minor kleptomania.
Now that you mention that, yes, actually, that makes sense. Yeah.
Fuck.
Increased emotion.
Yeah. We're getting into June's trauma. You guys, like, I hope I acted or role played,
that crying
enough,
scared the shit out of me. The panic breathing scared the absolute shit out of me.
Yeah.
Tim's a cold hearted robot and freaked out.
June's mask hasn't just slipped off, it's like shattered on the floor. She almost, like, let's just say she almost bailed.
I feel that.
But you all managed to keep her, like, at least, like, grounded.
Yeah.
And
Callie was very interested in that.
Yeah. So that's gonna be interesting to get into next session.
Yes, it will be. All right. So next session, just so that we're all on the same page about this, the next session will basically we're going to coast through the rest of the day as the party prepares to move on the processing forge and Odd, and then in the evening they're going to make the move, while simultaneously Boer, Oda, Tommy, and Saffron, their party, is going to make a move on Sverga over at the Play Hard field.
I hope those four are okay.
Oh, they're probably fine.
Yeah, they're probably fine. Probably fine.
Which one of them
have a hag expert? They have a hag expert. They're like a
they do. They have.
Boer
is literally an expert on hags and on witches. So they've got all of the knowledge information base over there, and then, like, Oda is an exemplar. She's basically a tiny Thor. So, like, that things are kind of in their favor a little bit.
Yeah.
So long as things don't go sideways.
I'll give you this, Fuzzy. This is the first boss. This is, like, the first true antagonist since probably the Hunter that has pissed me, the character, or me, the player, off. Because, like, how fucking dare you mess with my friend? How the fucking gall.
You say that, but, like, every antagonist I've been with, I fucking hate them. What are you talking about?
Me personally, Callie's.
Well, no, not even as Callie, as a player. I have personal hatred for most of the antagonists we've gone up against.
The thing that I have honestly really enjoyed is that like this is kind of balm for my DM soul. I'm as a longtime DM with D&D and whatnot. There have been basically 0 times that hags have ever sealed the deal as antagonists, like proper villains and things like the promise of a hag just never works out in D&D. But in this situation, it has worked out. It has worked out perfectly. These are hags. These are hags of my son. These are hags. And we are dealing with them, and they are fucking with you guys. I am eating well. I am eating so well.
And to reference the other antagonists, all of them I have like been like, oh yeah, we need to fuck these guys up. They're assholes. But this one is just like another level.
It's personal.
Maybe it's more the player than it is Tim, because I'm like, don't torture my friends with their trauma. I had the same thing for like the Dagon people against Callie. I was like, don't you torture my friends with their past trauma. I will break you over my knee.
That D20 I rolled, do y'all know what that was?
Yes.
Okay, so on a 2 to a 9, June basically would have, acted as way she broke down, crying like in total shambles, just not in a good place in what she had to experience. On an 11 through a 19, that would be her, like, putting the mask back on, just like locking the fuck in, let's go and like make them pay. On a 20, on a 20, she would have made it her personal mission to decapitate whichever witch made her do that.
Okay.
On a 1, she would have basically like shut down. She would have be like, I can't do this. I need to I can't do this. Yeah. So like that's how bad her trauma is and like what she had to basically relive.
I imagine.
Not good. No.
Even if Tim turns into a pile of fucking rusted dust, he's killing these motherfuckers.
but now everyone has got a good reason to really hate these hags.
Yeah.
They have managed to like even slap a wedge in between the party. I mean, they are directly responsible for literally one character pulling a gun on another character.
And me threatening to blow up the place.
Yeah, and you threatening to just like 9/11 this entire building. So yeah, like these hags, they are fulfilling the promise, and I am loving it. You guys have been, as always, wonderful. But today was a outstanding role-playing session. Compared to last session, which was still pretty good, this was just above and beyond. And I thank you all for bringing your A game today, because man, did it show. It really felt. And as always, I'm grateful for you guys to be here anyways, whether we're on our A, B, or C games. And I am, just happy that you guys are willing to put up with my horse shit.
I'm just really frustrated that my microphone disconnected again.
It's always the good sessions.
I know it's always the good sessions. I'm just extremely thankful.
Why we've got that backup.
Yeah, I'm extremely thankful that Syrup is doing that. Like they record like the last couple of sessions, just in case. And thank you again, Syrup. You are you can send me you can send it to me whenever at your own convenience. It doesn't have to be like right away. Just thank you again. I just, how do I not notice? It's like, it's always whenever like I relax, I'm like, okay, it's been good for a while. I don't need to like constantly check it, and then that's when it disconnects again. and like I don't know why my microphone disconnects. Like I don't even touch it. I don't even touch it or anything. Yeah.
I do think that like on Twitch you should set up a like a redeem for like check your mic.
Check mic.
Check your mic.
Check. Yeah.
All right.
You know, like that might honestly be but anyways, as always, everybody, thank you for being here. Love you. Mean it. I'm gonna go eat dinner that I cooked like 3 hours ago. So you guys have a great evening. I will talk to y'all later.
Yeah, talk to y'all later.
Take it easy, y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.